taking out Zai, seen him struggle. His Axe has been dominant, seen him struggle, as we said, a little bit on the Mars. Nisha Morphling's been something that's been tried and tested, and he wins the majority of those games on it. So, okay, putting them on the back foot. Let's see what we got. Even though we were talking in the back, AA is probably going to be a very popular pick. They still look to ban out Morphling. And there it is, as we figured.
Yeah, like you look at Secret's previous games, out of like 8 or 9, the 3 wins that they've obtained have been off the back of Axe and Morphling. So this is Liquid very much putting them in a position of, your only success has come from these combinations. Show us something new. Please open up your playbook a little bit more. But honestly, watching Liquid is so exciting right now because they're kind of Sumo just adds that extra layer to the team right now, and it is really just, whew, I don't know. Hard to put into words.
I think they've found some like really amazing dynamic too with Koikfa and Taiga now laning together instead of like Boxy and Taiga. Like Koikfa is actually very good in this offlane. It's very comfortable here.
Very smooth transition.
It is exactly. And now Taiga, I feel like he's actually thriving a little bit better off of that because I feel like Koikfa is sacrificing himself a little bit more, just like Boxy does, but in a bit of a cleaner manner.
What do we hear?
Is that that's the lines? That's the team.
Oh my! I legit thought we like had Liquid comms on Discord, and we're like,
yeah, I'm like, wow, there's been a mistake.
Blitz, was it Blitz was saying about push? I was like, we need more push. I was like, brother, you've only picked a snap. Calm down. You got a couple 4 more balls.
I was a little worried there too, but yeah, there's definitely been Liquid been buying their own voice lines. Then I mean, I would too, to be fair.
So I played up against Blitz in an unranked game the other day. He played a mid Snapfire.
He did.
And that alone might give me reason to believe that this is no, it's not.
Well, to be totally honest, I've even seen Mikke play safe lane Snapfire.
And I love that.
It's a super flexible pick. We've seen Liquid do all kind of crazy stuff. However, I actually do think that there's some cool stuff just coming out from the opener here. Strong laner, if it is, let's say, Koikfa gonna be the Magnus, ways to play around it. Cold feed. If you get cold feeded, you got a cookie, you got a skewer to break it. So 2 different types of mechanics to at least avoid the chain stun combo that couldn't come out, which we've seen so often with these AAs, like Wraith King, Svens, even Trolls at times.
Also, I like this as well because it puts a little bit of pressure on Secret to think about like PA. There we go. Here, they pick it straight away. I was gonna say, because if they don't pick PA now, they're most likely gonna have to ban it because you're just giving away such an easy draft with Lil Shredder minus armor, Empower, some PA running at you, and instead they just take it away. Which it's quite nice because when you think about the type of stuns Liquid has, you can easily disconnect yourself from this. And yeah, just solid openings so far, nothing too revealing. This is where the ban phase will be a bigger indicator.
Wonder if we do see something maybe like a Wyvern come into play here for Insania. He loves playing save heroes. You see PA, you know it's going to be a physical draft, but you're into AA, which always is a little bit scary at times, but it does do its job. You know, it does do that work and get you some nice setup, which is a potential. And people are liking Wyvern more. I thought the hero was not going to see as much play, but I'm seeing it a bit more than I thought.
Yeah, it really depends on the type of team you're playing against, where if they're playing more for laning pressure than picking Wyvern, you're enabling that and it's going to hurt your draft. But when you see a little like slow rotation heroes who can't really be active on the map, they just play static lanes, then you can just AFK in the lane, get quick levels. That's when it can thrive. But I would be a little bit put off just because of the AA matchup.
Because of the AA,
like you never happily cold embrace someone. It's as if you're giving away the free ultimate.
Banning out the Tide, combo breaker, strong hero as well. Zai, I think, is going to get some limited hero pool.
No, yeah, for sure. He's going to be targeted pretty hardcore now. And like the reason why I like Secret having PA here is because the heroes that Insania plays naturally are heroes that don't want to be jumped on the backlines, right? You think of some Grim, some Oracle, and you don't want to really pick teamfight like a Warlock because now you're going to have a Mag RP, a Warlock Golem, and a Snapfire. Lots of big damage, but not enough like smaller stuns. So I like the fact that this PA pick, it also breaks down the type of hero that Insania play, unless he just plays a casual Mag 5, for example.
I mean, they could flex. They could flex so many things here on Liquid. In the bans, Wind Ranger ban makes sense. We saw Sumiel the other day. Straight up builder for MKB can be a counter. Pretty hard versus both of these. You're elusive. AA Blast can be hard to hit sometimes on these win runs. You're good versus PA in the matchup. Seeing a Legion ban coming out.
Ooh, do you think Secret will be looking at Void as another potential ban? The idea of just the easy enabler of Magnus and the layer damage of Snapfire. PA can never be too happy in these engagements. But of course, PA into Mag does Void does feel pretty nice much later into the game if you get a jump.
Maybe it would be too cooldown reliant for the side of Liquid, but perhaps. Legion, as we said, Zai, he's going to be very targeted in this one. Take out that Legion too. And when you see PA in a draft, most of the draft does revolve around that PA. So anything to just kind of protect him is going to be one of those approaches that we would probably see Secret go. So save gone.
These offlane bans.
Zai's already like, oh god, all right, well, whatever. I play. Zai's like, hit the
plays
random
everything.
button. Hit the random
Yeah.
button. So he's still got those opportunities for break.
So what are some of the heroes that you guys were talking about that you really wanted to see this this series? Lone Druid was one of them?
Lone Druid was one. We were talking about AA Slardars a lot. So those were taken.
Lone Druid does fall off because of PA. I think when you play Lone Druid into PA, you always just feel like you're going to get blown up, and when you go high ground, you're just going to get jumped, and it's going to be a bit too hard. But Liquid, their bans,
10 seconds to go.
Makes me feel that maybe the mag could just be some casual 5 because they're banning more independent off lanes that easily deal with enabled carries and physical damage, and yeah, Timber as well. So
Okay, yeah, that actually does make a lot of sense. Zai's gonna.
oh, they just go for Oracle. Okay, sure.
Okay.
Also, I guess the flip side to that is if they do mag in a core role, if they go for a defensive 5, there's no rotation potential, so it's also just taken away the offlane is that forced rotation. So yeah, Liquid very much playing
10
solid
seconds
lanes,
to go.
but not really wanting to move too quickly on the map. A farm game is what Liquid are looking for right now.
5 seconds.
And it can't just be that straight counter, of course, versus the AA. As we figured, Insania is going to look for one of those saves.
Considering it is Team Liquid and they have done this before, even in tiebreakers from the previous season, is there a chance of a Huskar, or is that not really in the books today?
I think with the role swap scenario, I think it's less likely.
Oh, they go for
And
the
it's, yeah, it's just,
They go
of
for
course,
the
that's right.
slash,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's
We can still do this.
just go-to. They picked it last time they played up against
guys,
PA,
I know we
against
probably lost
Smashers.
this game,
It
but
was
we
the
can still
same
do
concept
this.
of draft. It was Snapfire, Slardar, Oracle, Leshrac. This time swapping out the Slardar for the Magnus.
Yeah, I'm actually quite a big fan of Lesh right now, especially
10
like
seconds to
10
go.
times more if you have any type of way to protect him. Extra protection, even with like
5
RP to
seconds.
cover him. The Oracle makes a lot of sense here. Sand King.
The only caveat to this type of draft now is Liquid doesn't have that frontliner, and also when you have Magnus plus Leshrac, whoever's being empowered also wants access to the jungle. So Liquid are gonna have to do a really good job at enabling Leshrac to farm the topside jungle away from Ancients, whilst also stacking the Ancients for whoever's gonna get empowered. So they're gonna have to be really efficient on the jungle. And in Secret, they're now looking at that 4 pairing to play with the Sand King. Of course, like Willow, Mirana come to mind, a casual Rubik as well, but yeah, just any ranged hero to apply some pressure. Wow, they actually just go for a puck.
Okay. Seeing some limited catch for him in particular.
Yeah.
Lots of team fight. Secret really doubling down on it. Oracle looks quite good. Like this, just Fate's Edict in general looks really detrimental toward the side of Secret. But Secret's looking to battle. That's what we did see.
A lot of fight.
OG
10
Secret, that was
seconds to go.
37 to 37. Like these crazy type of battle coming out from them. So
Yeah, the key thing here is they're not looking to battle head on. They're having the wave clear, they're having the tower defense,
Oh,
and then
good.
they'll take the fight after when PA jumps in after.
and ways to swoop around to the back line here to
Exactly.
catch onto the Oracle here. Nice silence for coverage too. Both teams.
And they picked the puck here because like I mentioned pos 4s, but realistically I listed like 3 or 4, right?
Yeah.
And there's not enough bans to cover that, so they instantly snap up the mid hero that can at least play into Leshrac and not instantly die. We've seen Sumo dominate quite a lot of lanes on this Lesh so far.
And there's for Nisha, this will be the first puck for the season. Actually.
Okay.
Okay. And I mean, I don't want to put it out completely just yet, but we used to
10
see Puppy play
seconds to
puck.
go.
Yes.
We have seen Yapsor
True.
play AA. If they do some
True.
crazy aggressive
5 seconds.
sinking AA,
Do.
it's not great, but thanks.
Radiant's banned.
I mean, it still could be flexible. It's not likely. It's probably just going to be the more standard, but
The real question for Liquid is what is going to be their empowered core? We've mentioned like Void already. I think that's still pretty good, especially into the type of lane that Secret are presenting. It helps with the enabled damage of Leshrac as
10
well.
seconds to go.
they could just go for something really safe like a jug.
Okay.
5
Yeah, true.
seconds.
Right?
In my mind, I'm thinking like
It's not a
Void,
good core matchup, but
Jug, true. Core matchup's kind of awkward, but the
Dire's
rest of the
banned.
game, it's really good. And then also they could just double down on passive nature and just go for like a Spectre. And
No
just be like,
Jug.
we're going to win the late game hardcore.
they banned the jug. I like
Yep.
the jug just because like you can't get ganked. Like you
Sure,
see
yeah.
a puck get coiled, you just spin TP out. You have like so many different ways to play around it. The lane, you actually can pose kill threat pretty nicely here too.
Oh yeah, give Sand King. That's the key
10
thing, right?
seconds
It's
shuts
to
you
go.
need to give Sand King a game, and Troll Jug are the more dominant cores.
Yes.
The carries that I just mentioned are less lane winners, so that would actually enable a Sand King. So yeah, these bans are very much tailored toward giving Yapsor and Zai some pressure in the lane.
Do we like a Faces Void for Team Liquid still? I mean, in terms of what's still in the pool and what Mickey has been recently playing.
I still don't mind it. We'll see what pick Secret go for. It's Willow
10
or
seconds to go.
Rubik is the 4s, unless they're doing some roll swap shenanigans, and this is
5
No.
seconds.
a bit of flexibility here.
I like these two bans, the Nyx and the Mirana. Mirana, even though you're into Oracle, your Oracle has to commit.
Well, he'll die in the lane.
Dispel,
That's-
and yeah, he'll die in the lane. So I do like that ban. Nyx also makes a lot of sense when you're playing with the AA or versus the AA. Great way to scout, great way to get information in back lines versus like Oracle. So good bans.
So
On
what?
both sides, I like both of them actually.
Dyer's
Yes.
mid.
What's secret flexing here though? Are they being creative or is it just a puck mid? Oh, they go for a beast mod. Okay.
Oh,
So it is going to be some most likely
5 puck, right?
5 puck. Yeah, 5.
You think
puck
Nisha
in AA.
Beastmaster still?
Yeah.
Yep, looks
Yeah,
like it.
sure.
Okay.
Oh, Insane just scooting around. Beat, beat,
10
pick my hero.
seconds to go.
And what's left? They need
A
most
Mickey.
likely, yeah, they're carrying.
I've not seen a
seconds.
Beastmaster since the nerf.
But yeah, I
Definitely not seeing a whole bunch of them. Not in the mid lane for sure.
No,
when the nerf-
and into dispels too. You're
Yeah.
into Oracle, who can dispel the buff,
That's very
debuff. You
true,
also
yeah.
just pop a Fate's Edict onto somebody,
Yep.
protect versus Axis too. So, bit of an interesting choice coming out from Secret.
but it gives them that grouping, like when they play their laning phase, PA with 1 active item, Sanking Blink, and then the Beastmaster Ags, they'll instantly get an Aegis for the PA. It takes around 30 seconds now compared to the 20 before the nerf.
True.
And that will give PA enough time to run into what Liquid have. They don't have cheap stuns. They can't lock down this PA. And if she has an Aegis, it's going to be a big threat. So I like the idea of Beastmaster just for giving that Aegis potential.
And they do have ways to
Push. Yeah.
Yeah, and they do have ways to at least get onto Oracle. Like Puck's job is going to have to be just to be disrupt this Oracle, because otherwise, Beastmaster Roar, that's one that you feel very good about just false promising right on
Exactly,
top
yeah.
of. So I'm a little bit skeptical on this Beast pick. I got to be honest. I feel like
Question.
you could suffer in lane.
The voice lines, are those going out to the...
And they do just go for void.
Yeah.
Are they go out to the enemy team as well, or is it all chat? Or is it
All chat. So basically,
okay.
all yeah. For a fine price of nearly 20 quid, you get all chat for like a couple weeks.
Okay, I was just
Oh.
curious, considering it was pretty funny hearing. Let's just constantly say let's push, or whatever.
Yeah, I think teams could have been a little bit better with their all chats and knowing that their team has access to it. But yeah, as expected, the Liquid does eventually go for the void.
Look at Secret, who's playing
Someone's
what? They're just
dropped
doing it a little bit more
like
standard.
in
Nisha is going to play Puck. Zai's
Wow.
actually going to play
Okay.
Beastmaster.
Sure.
So they're going to play like the normal, I guess, roles. And Yap's sort of playing Sanking. This lane looks weak though.
Which is
Beastmaster
interesting.
Sanking.
Beastmaster is technically the old age counter to the void.
It is.
In terms of laning phase. Of course, not buying net crew might offset that slightly and give void some better presence. But if you just go for a dominator, still will have the same impact. But yeah, I like the skirmishing, the fight from Secret. But yeah, Liquid just double down and say we will be able to win this late game.
Yeah, I quite like what Liquid's got going for them. They've looked really comfortable with when they can fight around towers with this Void plus the Snapfire early on. They can still look to take fights in that early time of the game. And
What's up, T?
I want to see the upgraded Dominator. It's very expensive.
it's
It
very...
is very
but like,
expensive.
why not?
But
Why
you gotta
not?
get the money. Why not? Is it might make you lose.
I done it before.
That's true.
If the game's
when
going
they
well,
were crushing it, yeah.
yeah, if
exactly.
they're losing the game, don't grief. But if the game's going well, get a cheeky golem in the mix. Why
Quick
not?
question: Puck versus Lesh, who's supposed to win? You guys were mentioning the mid lane.
Trade a farm.
Trade a farm.
Trade a farm. Okay, that's not that exciting, but the game itself will definitely exciting and made even extra exciting by our commentary duo of Cap and Kyle.
You're too kind, Sheever. We'll try our best anyway. But yeah, this is going to be the first real test for Liquid with the new Sumail lineup, right? They've managed to face up against Brame, Hellbear Smashers, Tundra, all teams that are expected to be bottom 4. But now they're facing up against Team Secret, who are supposed to be, anyway, the top dogs of the group. Not actually the reality for this season, though, Kyle.
Indeed, they're actually still part of that bottom 4, at least as the standings appear now.
They certainly are.
And the scuffed spray coming out, Arteezy's beautiful face. This is the first time I've seen him streaming in a while.
Thanks, guys. Thanks a lot.
If you're watching, please feel free.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, so just for everybody knows, yeah, if you could tell right there, Secret are supporting evil geniuses. As I have no doubt that Zai was probably leading that charge, as yes, they were spamming that one earlier. Stop jungling, let's push. And then Insania was spamming his own line, which is, I know we probably lost, but let's try anyway.
That's a great life motto. We're going to see this all day. Probably all week, all year perhaps, depends on how long these last. But yeah, to set the stage, you know, Liquid, they're in a scenario, they can still come out first of this group and put themselves in a great place to qualify, but they would need to beat Secret, beat OG, and then win a tiebreaker against Alliance. So must win. In Secret, they're just trying to get to the major. They're qualified to TI, but would probably like to spare themselves the embarrassment of possibly being relegated, which is in the cards if they were to lose here today.
Can you imagine some insane scenario? We're going to TI, but we're also a lower division team.
See you after TI. What would happen? You know, you win TI. Does that help you? Is there a provision that you get upgraded, or would
I
you
mean,
just go out?
that would be common sense, but at the same time, I mean, rules are rules.
Rules are rules, Cap. Rules are rules.
Nice D-ward there by Secret. Of course, you saw the nice ward bro being spammed by Liquid as they do get D-warded. All right, so our top lane matchup, the Secret did do a bit of a swerve. They picked up the Sand King. They're like, here's our offlaner, here's our offlaner. Boom, it's a 4-position reaction. They have Beastmaster instead. Do you like this? Do you think that swerve is actually going to be good for Secret?
I mean, I love Beastmaster. I think it's underpicked. Yes, we removed Necro. Yes, the Ags was nerfed, but the hero itself got a ton of buffs. Look at that base damage of the Bracer, 68 damage. You are one of the only offlaners that is actually like more base damage than a Void. That's insanity. They are gonna initiate on him.
It is pretty crazy.
Yeah, the hero just lanes super well. I think the HOD, the Vlads, the Solar Crest, all these items are still built quite nicely. It's just a question of how well can you do in lane. I think Fogged was correct. You should have a little bit of concern. A Sandstorm level 1 Sand King, not exactly the ideal laning partner as a 4-position.
Yeah, I was going to transition to that. You're talking about how Beastmaster's so good. His stats are great. Look at his damage. It's amazing. But Sand King as a 4-position is the downside, right? That is not a good laning support for you at all. And it is beginning to cost Zai a bit as he is constantly being forced away from the creep wave.
Yeah, bottom lane as well. Secret should have an edge. Just the AAPA spam is quite tough to deal with, although I expect Koifa's wand will certainly pay dividends. He's really disciplined about that. All the Liquid guys are. If it's a lane that's good for a stick, almost all of them are going to pick one up. In fact, Taiga even started the game with one. My concern in the top lane is when you think about Beastmaster dominating lanes, it was with a more aggressive partner, you know, like the Dazzle Beastmaster of old. Sand King, this isn't really what you're looking to have him, your partner, do. You want to be trading hits against this Void. Beastmaster can't do it by himself. But I guess he can at least kind of poke Insania.
And if it's going okay now, it should get better as time goes on, right? Like Sand King, the problem with Sand King as a support is he just sucks level 1. But you get him to level 3, level 5, and his power spikes start helping win the lane a little bit. What about our mid lane matchup? This is going to be a fun one.
That's the one I've been watching.
Nisha versus Sumail. Puck versus Leshrac.
Yeah, it's again, we've seen this a few times. Puck has a tough time manning up on runes because if you get caught in Edict range with no orb, you just feed. You have such limited base armor, but you have more base damage and you have a much more effective time hitting your opponent with your nuke. And 10 damage in the mid lane is a pretty significant add. And you also obviously can juke the auto attack. Lesh stun is pretty easy to dodge as well with the phase shift. So expect Nisha to pull ahead. But then Sumail should have an easier time accelerating, farming stacks, pushing the lane later on.
And it's a bit like a DK is, Sumail.
Yeah.
In a bit low. It's a bit like the DK versus Puck matchup, right? Where Puck wants to be able to rotate anywhere, he's going to find that his tower may die very quickly. So that is going to be something that Secret are going to have to solve.
Just got to be careful. Yeah, you can see you're forced to spend more mana than you may like just because Puck is always hitting you with the Q. You have a hard time doing the same.
Our first blood still open in the air here, trying to go for the skewer back. Does manage to get him. Taiga very low, so he's unable to assist that attempted kill onto Puppey. He'll take last hits while Koifa is away. How do you feel Koifa has transitioned to back to the off lane?
Oh, very well. I love what he's been doing. I think his hero pool is still a bit limited. We haven't really seen him play much outside of maybe Slardar and Mag, but I do like the way he's adjusted. Even if you look at his skill build, 2 points in Q, that was changed in that last patch. Empower got a slight nerf, or a buff rather, but more importantly, the Shockwave had a mana cost reduction, so super valuable, especially when you rush this stick against 2 heroes that are always spamming spells.
Too bad. Taiga, if he had gone for that suicide in the tower 5 seconds later, then he would have found a courier kill to go with it, but as it is, he just wants to be able to reset, come back in the lane, ferry a bunch of regen for Koifa, who is kind of needing it due to, as you said, all the spam of the daggers from the PA. Top lane still going at it, but now the boar is getting tough to be able to nuke down, and Mickey is having a harder and harder time being able to push Zai out of lane.
Zai also going for the stats build, you know, double bracer. I'm curious to see how he's going to itemize up here. Now a raindrop in boots, because there's a lot of arguments here. You can go for the aura build, you can still try to play with creep army and just get the early HOD, but typically when we saw HODs picked up, they were rushed. So I expect him to go for maybe just a first item Solar Crest, more of a battle build. Who knows? He has nothing queued up.
Here comes Mickey. He's going to time walk into this one and manage to get a lucky first hit bash here, which will allow him to do a lot more damage onto Zai as he chases him down, but the boar will allow him to disengage, and that is part of the problem. Bottom lane, Koifa going in for a deep dive here to try and finish off Puppey.
Wow, he even has the 2 points in Skewer. I don't know if that was intentional or not. Typically, you'll see Empower skilled up earlier just because at a point he'll be moving around Mickey and giving him that free Battle Fury, but more of the laning pressure build.
The Dire might want to
Was tripping out for a moment there. I was like, wait, when did we get a kill?
Yeah.
That was just a suicide earlier. That first blood is still available, and they're going to go for it on the side of Liquid. A two-man Shockwave Skewer combination, and Puppey is going to be left behind, while Matumba Man is able to use his mobility, jump away to safety. First blood going to Taiga.
So you're saying, how is he adjusting? Well, what was that, a 2-person Shockwave into Skewer back combo? You're typically going to find it challenging to do that onto just one target. But both mid laners like to watch this. Sumail, you know, we remove luck from the first couple of runes, but 6 minutes he grabs an arcane rune. That's money in the bank right there. And now he's top net worth because of his ability to then farm out the jungle with ease.
Did he have stacks available, or was that just...
I believe there was a double on the hard camp by Ancient Stack. I could be incorrect.
That would do it. Sumail stacking for himself there. So if I had to guess, probably stack the easy camp once and then stack the hard camp when he made that rotation over.
This is nice. Yapsor, you see him, he's finding the stacks that were placed up top.
Nice.
There is a ward. Defensive ward place because they wanted to protect
Mickey over and everything. They really want to punish Yapsor for this, and they're going to go for it. He's going to be stuck here, taking a lot of damage, but does have the Burrow Strike onto 2, going the other direction, away from Mickey, but is too slow to be able to stay ahead of them. Should be dying here. Sania gets the kill. It's remarkable that they actually, and it's not many times you'd see a carry be willing to leave his lane to protect that stack like he did.
Yeah, but I mean, that's the Liquid style, especially now with Sumail in the mid lane, playing around his Leshrac, especially in this game as more of the carry. I love Sumail's itemization. He grabbed an early cloak. Expect that to become an eternal shroud at a point. I've been talking with Tigov about this. You don't get the spell amplification stack if you were to say go Bloodstone, an extra shroud, but the lifesteal from spells does stack.
Taking advantage of the death, Yapsor gonna make a Sandstorm Burrow Strike play, but he's taking too much damage. They did not estimate their damage correctly as Sumail was able to tank through it in part because the 15%.
15% bonus magic resistance cap.
Pretty crazy. Now Matumba Man's in a bit of trouble here. They're going to give him the cookie. Pops right on over. He's got a dagger, and I thought maybe he would go for the kill on a Taiga, but instead Matumba Man trying to value his own life and his own escape out of here. But there's not a ton of places he can run to here. The Shockwave's going to catch up to him. It's going to take a long time for Liquid to chase him down. But Insania's looking to be able to cut him off, and Taiga's there with the cookie. So eventually they find the kill.
Yeah, really nice job from Liquid so far. Just playing fast around the map. We just see the supports consistently finding space. This is the trouble, again, with the Sand King as a hero. You sort of fill the same role in a game as a Tusk, as an Earth Spirit, but you don't really roam. The Sandstorm's nice for pushing lanes, but you can't do that against heroes like Leshrac.
Yeah.
And it's just underwhelming as a hero concept. And now he might be dead.
So one of the most valuable things is being able to protect your towers with Sandstorm, but he just cannot do this underleveled against Leshrac, who's very strong. Matumba Man rotating like that, but it does leave Puppey alone, trying to get solo experience, trying to get to his level 6, but is instead found and killed. 2-7, Liquid off to a decent start. Obviously, numbers are very high for them, but just a 1K gold lead for now. What do you think is the difference between Secret this season and last season?
Oh, I thought they might go for that there. I mean, perhaps a little bit is complacency. We even heard in the interview, Yaps were saying how he's very serious, but of course Zai was, you know, just, he was, I don't know what he's doing in quarantine, to be honest, but apparently he'd been playing too much backgammon and didn't focus enough on his Dota studies. They are pretty much qualified for TI, so not as much pressure, maybe draft experimenting, or perhaps just the other teams got their asses in gear because, you know, it's put up or shut up time now in the DPC.
Do you feel like the new patch hurt Secret in any specific way, or is it just a general change is going to hurt a team that was super dominant before?
A bit of both. I also think all the competition got better, right? We've discussed, I feel like this Liquid lineup is certainly playing better than the last seasons.
Yeah.
Miracle.
Alliance looks top-notch again, like they did last season.
Miracle back to mid for Nigma, I think, is also definitely impactful.
True.
OG, you know, started trying again. Good to see.
And back in the page, they're going to go for the kill onto Mid-Gate here, and they certainly have enough disables to kill him. It's 4 different heroes to the top lane. The 5th one is Puppy sitting mid, but he just cannot stay in lane for long, constantly being hunted down.
I love this Eternal Shroud item. I'm surprised we haven't seen it in so long on a Leshrac, on a hero like Death Prophet, because it removes the negative mana effects from popping a hood.
Yeah.
You get the increased survivability, but you actually get more mana back if you get the full spell absorption, which is quite easy when you look at the raw amount of magical power on Team Secret. You can't turn it off, and if you're going to kill Lesh, it's going to be through magic damage. So it's a way to increase your damage output in fights, but dramatically increase your survivability as well, which is something I'm always a fan of.
It feels a little antithetical to how you want to deal with a Leshrac. He shows up, he's just raw damage. You want to focus that guy down, but if you do that, you're actually giving him mana.
Indeed.
More power to be able to keep his nukes going.
And Leshrac is a hero that if he is able to run in, that is when the hero is effective. They also have, of course, an Oracle, so the more resistance, there's this age-old discussion about what's better, just raw HP versus resistance in the form of physical or magical. Whenever the more EHP, the more HP you have through healing, through sustain, the better resistance becomes. So it's even more valid here because you have an Oracle that's going to represent someone healing behind you.
And it's beginning to show its effect here with the Liquid building a bit more of a net worth lead, but
it takes the mana cost on activating the hood down to just 60, but you can get restored 400, which is the block that would then be absorbed. So it actually turns his mana pool into close to 1300.
Now, one problem Liquid may have is, well, they won't have a problem killing Yapzor. It's looking like he's just nuked down. I was going to say the Beastmaster. Beastmaster did take his tower, is beginning to assert some control over this side of the map, and may even be able to find a pick-off, but Koifa...
Spidey senses.
Yeah, wise to a potential gank here. Managed to get away from the Ice Blast and the Primal War combination. Now Sumail give it a heal that allows him to feel good about going back in. Puppy's here as well, but they don't have the Ice Blast. Nisha really trying to gun for this kill as they have the rotation coming over from Zai, but Sumail just charges forward and he's like, okay, you've got your boars? Not anymore. Zapzor finds an opening. Nice play by Insani with the Fate's Edict before he came down from the Burrow Strike, so he didn't take any damage there.
Insani's doing a great job stacking whenever he has free time, consistently playing around his course properly. And Liquid have adjusted quite nicely into this 3 Protect 2 style. Sumail and Mickey all farm happy. Koifa is pretty content. He's got his Blink Dagger Arcanes. He's ready to either make moves or become an Empower bot. Meanwhile, Secret, kind of in this 3-core style, the PA needs some more time to come online. Also going for a slower build. Has to buy the Battle Fury. He doesn't get built in Empower. Nice RP.
Straight up RP. They also had the Fortune's End to be able to lock Nisha in place a little bit longer, but it wasn't quite what Koifa was hoping for because he didn't get the skewer. May not matter though. Time dilation. And Puck's not going anywhere.
Yeah, they brought plenty of heroes, but not the greatest synergy there. They didn't have the skewer. Not quite sure. They just messed up a little bit there. I think that was a Fortune's End pre-channeled on the mag, but then didn't land, so.
Oh, trying to catch up to him to get the lightning slow, to get the follow-up, but not quite there. You can see Liquid's have an understanding. They feel much stronger than Team Secret right now, and they're just running at heroes wherever they show up on the map.
Dire's top tower's getting beat down.
It's just tough for Secret to do anything about this. The limitations of their draft, right? PA, he's just going to farm. This hero can't really do anything in a fight till post-BKB. Nisha is attempting to make plays, but he has a Witchblade, no Blink Dagger. And Yapzor is Sand King.
So what does Secret's lineup do well then? If it's not this period of time, when are they going to be strong?
It's going to be PA versus the world. You're going to need to see Matumbaman at the top of the net worth chart, not second place, preferably with an Aegis, and utilizing their global vision advantage. You know, a bird scout into a roar, maybe an AA blast on top if necessary. And later on in the game, the power of the Liquid support duo was going to be negated because suddenly there's this insanely farm PA who kills off the Oracle in a crit or two. Until you get to that point, it's way too difficult to position properly because Insani is always going to be there. He's always going to save his cores. There's not really much you're going to be able to do about it as Team Secret.
So combination of because when you're drafting, you're not trying to make it PA versus the world, right? Like Secret obviously had a different idea of what was going to happen here, but you're saying the Oracle and the 5-man nature of Liquid, they're grouping up so much that it's hard for the Puck and Sand King to do anything offensively.
At best, you're going to have like Mickey or Koifa playing this bottom lane. Sure, you could maybe make a move on him, but Sumail there's nothing you can do about it. Talked with, I think it was either Fog to BSJ backstage, just about how important pushing this mid lane is. So you've got enemy tower down as Liquid, and the Leshrac is free. Whenever it gets even close to the river, you're pushing it across. Insania is keeping you safe. It's not a place you can make a move. Yaps are in trouble. He'll be fine. But I mean, Secret are not necessarily falling behind, right? They're still stacking Ancients. PA has a Battle Fury, but there's really no moves they can make. They're content to just sort of sit down. Matu's farming now his 6th or 7th stack this minute, and just kind of see what plays out.
Basically, they managed to stem the bleeding. They kept it at a 2K net worth lead for Liquid, and that's mostly thanks to the efficiency of Battle Fury PA and farming those Ancients. And that's like kind of a hallmark of PA lineups, right? Is that like you're never out of the game as long as you're still holding your triangle.
Indeed. And Liquid want to deny that.
He's with the haste rune, finding an opportunity, does manage to get the silence, and they're going to quickly take out the Promeroi, but now there's the coil there as well, and that'll hold Sumail in place long enough for them to be able to retreat. Now an Ice Blast is going to nick Insania here, and Matumba Man is hoping to throw one more dagger to catch him. Maybe the Puck. Nisha didn't want to jump for it. Maybe it's for the best. He didn't have his blink dagger just yet. You
can see how the draft can work, though, for Secret. They had a vision advantage there. They had the high ground. Sure, you trade Roar for Insania's ultimate, but then the coil for control. And then later, with the bird vision, it's going to be really easy for them to poke and prod. They've got very low CDs on the Puck Sand King. AA can throw out a blast. PA, of course, with the dagger and jump spam. But the team fight of Liquid, that's the key. They have hard save and then a Chronosphere and an RP. But it's about playing around those cooldowns as Secret and potentially even using buybacks if it's necessary to turn a fight.
Well, a team fight that may just be good enough for Secret to take is one around the Roshan pit. The nice Ice Blast like that. It is dwindling, though. Nisha's just kind of poking at. Yaps are going to go for the kill, though. Mickey is going to survive ever so barely. Meanwhile, we've got Zai, who's going to be run down by Sumail. Doesn't have an out here. Yaps is being nailed by Taiga. Shot after shot. A Chronosphere catching Matumba Man and saving Taiga's life for the time being. With a follow-up stun from Sumail, they'll chain lock him to death. And Nisha couldn't even get in there to finish off Taiga or any of the other low heroes. They're going to still have their RP. They blow that on Nisha to ensure the 4th kill and a Roshan.
Wow, I mean, credit to Mickey. And again, just the way the Liquid's itemization is working out. He had a Sange there, otherwise he dies. He went for the more defensive style. Because you can see, he's going to get jumped. A lot of damage comes out. The full epi from Yapster. Watch Insania. He's not even looking at his Void. He's trying to help Sumail. And Mickey leaps away with under 150 HP. If he dies there, totally different fight. The Chronosphere secured the PA kill, and then Puck, of course, chased down to the end. But all comes down to they can't kill this Void, sitting at over 2,000 HP on Strength Treads, which, of course, was what he had toggled when he got jumped.
And that entire, that so fits Mickey's playstyle, right? Because he doesn't do that thing where he's off AFK farming without the rest of his team. He's always seeming to join them. So him going a very stat-focused build does allow him a little bit more leeway in that regard. 300 health talent there included. Now, as a reward, he's got himself a secondary life in Aegis and a 5,000 network.
It's the whole team with this concept, right? Insania, sure, he doesn't have any real HP items, but check out the mag. He's going pipe right after blink. We already talked about the shroud on Sumail. Taiga sitting on a fluffy hat. Snapfire has way more strength gain than I realized. Of course, it is primary, but nearly 2,000 HP in a solar crest. So
yeah. Fluffy hat helping Ant a little bit there as well.
Yeah, Secret just aren't really in a position to take team fights with Chronosphere and RP active. You can even see there, Liquid, so long as they have their heroes alive, both of those spells represent kills on course.
It's like they're using, Ice Blast. It's going to come in. They're going to finish off Koifa. Using 3 heroes to do so, but Mickey is not a target they can go for. They just need to try and get out if they can. Yaps are being spotted by the blobs of fire. Look at him. He's changing the Mortimer's Kisses over to where he thinks Nisha is because he knows Yapster's already dead.
Taiga's so sick with those kisses.
He really is. He spots out Nisha.
And is a problem on
Sumail is still trying to catch him here. Is that a haste rune? It is.
Another one.
Found another big power rune. He's going to use it to try and chase down. No.
Yeah, but that sequence was a lot better for Secret. Sure, they trade bottom, but that whole time, they're farming PA mid. The Beastmaster was top, now shoving a lane, also dragging this one away.
That's a cute play.
Yeah, free damage. And this is how you want to play this if you're Secret. You got to split the map. Team fighting into Liquid right now with their cooldowns and Aegis, it's just not possible.
You know the drill. Dire structures looking
Like we talk about all these early game items they're going for. They're heavily focusing on the magic damage aspect of Team Secret. It does mean that if they don't continue this ball rolling, eventually the PA is going to come in and start taking over the game, right?
Yeah.
technical difficulties.
They gotta stay ahead. I mean, at a point, you have a void. Right? You're not exactly gonna fall off, but yeah, I think is always a little spooky. Oh, nice TP.
Smooth move there from Liquid as they take that bottom tier 2 tower, but also use it to subtly move. They left Sumail behind, though, and Sumail actually getting caught gives away a dominating kill streak.
Looks like they interrupted his TP on the way out. Got a little greedy there, trying to both push and then get out. He does take the tier 2, so the outpost will be available. Surprised that really both players died there, because Zai also had a bird above tower top. Not sure how Koifa was able to sneak in and get the RP. But Sumail certainly should not die there. It makes that move top not even worth it. You can see the reflected in the net worth. Only a 3,000 gold lead now for Liquid. More importantly, check the top. Matumba Man, first time in the game, I believe, is now #1.
Once you get to BKB,
One horn will do the damage of two.
that'll be real dangerous. There goes a lot of the damage of Liquid.
And we've discussed the itemization. It's all magical focused because they weren't counting on PA being a problem.
Cookie lands on a Yapzor, but Taiga is already dead. They're going to skewer on out before the Ice Blast can land, but here comes the reinforcements. Mickey and Sumail going for different targets here. Mickey really wanting the kill on the Phantom Assassin, throws down the corners here for it. Koifa on a sliver of HP, while Mickey trying to focus on Matumba Man, but he's got to go back. He's got to help out. Sumail is currently caught by Yapzor with the epicenter. They throw out the ultimate. Insania is going to be able to give him that false promise to keep him alive, but Sumail, they're struggling to be able to stay on top of Team Secret. They're being kited around here constantly. The Cold Feet's going to be able to latch Sumail down. Now they can try and focus him down with a stun burrow strike and the Matumba Man damage. They are looking to be able to wipe Liquid here as Mickey's going to go for a high ground. TP out, just doesn't get it off in time. The Primal Roar, and now there's going to be a burrow strike. Mickey very likely to die here a second time. Oop, gets popped down to low ground, but it doesn't matter. A team-wide, Team Secret turning the whole game around.
Yeah, they're playing flawlessly there. It's Secret, they want to make sure that this fight takes place on as many screens as possible. The spacing was insane. You have no synergy in the damage output from the Lesh and the Void. Mickey did get a full chrono on Matumba Man, but alone. There was no damage. No one was even in the vicinity. Nobody was even on that same high ground. We can watch it on the replay here. Good stun in from Yapzor. He will die, but he just buys back immediately, which is the right trade. Hey, blast might miss, but they split the fight.
Yeah, different motivations there. They could have both gone for Zai, or maybe everyone chased after Matumba Man.
Yeah, good boar micro from Zai. You saw him hit all 3 heroes in the vicinity to apply the slow. So yeah, now there's no chrono. Look at the spacing. Yapzor, he's bought back. Now he's in with the Epi, forces the Insania ultimate. Mickey still lost, still hasn't hit anybody really in this entire team fight, and everyone just runs away from him as they then kite the Mag and the Lesh. Misha, he's going out of mana. He's used so many spells in this fight. Roar not even used yet, and Yapzor got, I believe, 3 or 4 stuns, of course, including the need of a buyback. But either way, that's how you want to play it if you're Team Secret. Liquid, you gotta have more coordination. You cannot afford to be caught on different targets.
And a rare smile from Puppy, as he knows they totally just worked Liquid in that last team fight. And now we're beginning to speed up that timeline that we were talking about, Kyle, where now, hey, Matumba Man's gonna have BKB. You are mostly focused on magic damage.
Exactly.
You've also been mostly focusing on Pipe and Eternal Shroud. You don't have a whole lot of things to deal with the physical damage of Matumba Man.
You were planning on getting way further ahead as Liquid here, because to your point, you itemized for the mid game. You did not do anything to deal with PA. Mickey is a full item away from an MKB. You have no plus armor on your other 2 cores, any of your cores really. So suddenly Matumba Man is king of the game, and Liquid are now what feels like an item behind. And timing-wise, yeah, Secret definitely feeling confident.
Does the game turn at any point later on for Liquid, or is it very much like they really got to get a good team fight and take control of the game right now?
It can always turn. It's RP, it's Chronosphere. you know,
that many big team fight spells, you always have an out.
Yeah. Same way you can never count out a team with an Enigma. Same deal here. It's just trying to do, I think, a better job. You got to bait more onto Sumail. Whenever we see this, when our observer has to work this hard, it is not good for Team Liquid.
Yeah. No, it means Secret is doing their job. They are super spread, poking constantly at the edges of the team fight, trying to find some exposed weakness right now. Maybe it's Sumail chasing after him.
Love how they're playing this. Just throwing off spells, trying to bait. You want to get these big cooldowns spent. You want to force Liquid out of position. And if you hard initiate onto this Leshrac, it's the really only thing that can happen where you would end up punished.
Level 20 for the Phantom Assassin. Very big, very scary. Getting lots of good vision off of the Hawk. Mickey, trying to find it. Heading up to top lane real quick, seeing if they can find Sumail. Sumail, he's got a Yule Scepter. He can certainly buy himself some time, but he may need to get it off now. Oh, the false promise barely saving him. The Essence Ring turnaround. Now they're going to be able to blow up Yapzor. Sumail looking okay here for damage, as he's going to be able to get the kill on Puppey as well. Heals up the full. Nisha does manage to catch backline support in Insania, but they're going to use the Chronosphere to be able to make sure Nisha pays for that kill. Gets a little bit of recompense for their captain. RP straight up on Matumba Man, and they're going to have lots of stuns to throw at him. No chance of being able to get off the BKB until perhaps it's too late. He holds on to it.
So you can see right there what happened. They initiated all in on the Leshrac. Insania there with just a moment to spare, and they turn it around. It's the nature of this game. 31 HP. 31 HP he survives, and then the nature of Sand King, once you stun in, you're pretty much left for dead. They blow the roar to interrupt the cookies, but at this point, now that you get the supports killed, they can just chase, blow huge cooldowns for solo kills, and it's going to be worth.
I would just like to say I'd like to formally lodge a complaint against Team Liquid. It's not very nice of them to use their chat wheels to use a legendary commentator to outshine the current commentators. Come on, how am I supposed to be just throwing in classic LD lines? How am I supposed to compete with that?
You gotta come up with some better lines.
All right.
I thought, I mean, you are still boy.
Big chased away. They don't have Chronosphere, so this is not a good time to fight, even if they have Aegis and Cheese. So they're gonna retreat.
Oh, there's an idea. Commentator support packs.
Oh.
I'll take your tribute.
Yeah, okay.
Support the fans of Dota 2 by
I believe that's called the autographs. I believe Valve already gave us that.
Take what we can get. Let's see. Outpost reclaimed. The kill lead is a bit misleading, as is the gold advantage. Yes, Liquid are feeling okay. The second A just picked up. Who took the shard? Who'd they give it to? The dude Snapfire.
Okay, so they got more stunts, basically.
Yeah. Actually pretty significant. It's a free 2-second stun.
Yeah.
That's pretty value.
Well, it does require you to be like pretty close to melee range on top of somebody. That can sometimes be bad, but certainly if they catch somebody like Matumba Man, keep him from using his BKB.
Yeah.
Be massive. You can see the win percentage going up and down and up and down.
I actually want to state, I don't think Secret should ever be going for it.
Force Staff getting him away. Taiga and his choice of items may have just bailed him out there. And Mickey, almost ready to go with the Chronosphere, is willing to take the fight now.
Tower ain't a pretty sight right now.
Oh, Taiga still going to be found on the tail edges of the fight. Nisha assassinates him.
Are they going to find Matumba? Yes, they are.
All right. Skewer back. They have the stun. Oh, they missed it. Sumail. He was barely off the mark, and now the BKB going off from Matumba Man. He doesn't have any of his team, though. He is all alone. Secret's not even making a move to try and help him out. They're actually gunning for the tier 3s instead.
What?
Yeah, they said, Matumba Man, you're way out of position. We're nowhere close to you. We can't help you, dog. Ice Blast. Oh, Sumail leading the charge. He's going to regret every bit of that. You thought you could defend with just 2 cores like that? Koifa does manage to get a skewer back onto Nisha. He'll jump away to his orb. Koifa survives, but without Sumail, they are lacking a bit in defense. No Chronosphere and no Sumail. There's a little something missing.
Indeed, yeah. Insania was not there, did not have teleport active, so he had to do the long walk back to base. That's the second time Sumail gets caught being greedy. Once bottom, when he failed to TP away, and again top, now where he just sort of wanders into no man's land. They even had a ward there, so Secret was prepared. And I want to say, it's all about having Insania behind him. If you look at Sumail, he did what I expected. The Kaya Sanj, 30% spell life steal amplification, 25% HP regen amplification, plus the 20% spell life steal from Eternal Shroud, plus you have Insania, who's then going to give you double healing during Oracle Ultimate. So if Insania gets ult off, and Leshrac has spells running, he's almost certainly going to survive because of, you know, multiplication and math and all that stuff. Alone, he's just dead. So more discipline will be required. Still a pretty even game, but Tumbaman, you know, I guess he was first, so Sumail thought maybe he'd give his friend a freebie. Make sure his death was not so expensive.
14 to 23. Nag's almost done for the puck.
It's going to be huge.
MKB is done for our Faceless Void. Any other big item updates? Basher for the PA, that's decent.
You got the Sliver on Void, that's pretty huge. The status resist stacking with the Sanj and Yasha. The big issue you're going to have against the puck with Ags just picked up, that BKB piercing coil. You can't leap. So suddenly you become susceptible to being jumped, but so much status resist will severely limit the amount of time he'll spend stuck. On top, tier 3 is going to be okay, but Liquid got to be cautious. They're playing on top of Secret's vision right now. It's a good time for a smoke, but they got to reclaim their jungle.
I like that point you just made about the status, because especially if they get a coil onto like Sumail and Mickey, right? You can only false promise one of those. So the more that survivable Mickey is by himself, the easier Insania's game is to be able to focus on like, hey, I've got this glass cannon damage dealer. I want to false promise Sumail as much as possible.
Because we saw it already in that fight outside the Roche pit. Mickey, 100 HP from dying because Insania is going to be focused on Sumail. He's the squishier hero, and he does more damage at the moment. Better synergy as well with the Oracle abilities is Taiga. Gotta be a little cautious here.
Meanwhile, Team Secret, you could see their synergy, plain as day, amping up the PA as much as possible. The Beastmaster Aura, Solar Crest, giving him a pipe as well, and then they just have a bunch of disables plus an Ice Blast behind that. They are doing everything to make sure Tumbaman can go in with confidence and just blow people up one after the other.
And Liquid, it's a different style. It's all about getting their spells off the team fight. When Koif is going for a Shadow Blade. He's not worried about amping his carry. He's just trying to ensure that their initiation and their team fights are taken in the optimal way. It's Mickey and Sumail that are going to have to deal all of the damage, but that was the second Aegis we've seen Liquid take and not really utilize. This game doesn't get much easier for them as it continues.
And part of that has got to be what you were talking about very early on. Split push and vision control that Secret has, but it looks like they might just be able to find Yapsor here using the shard, the horn toss. Tossing him up in the air, skewering him on back.
Really nice ability to have just for the extra stun, the guaranteed skewer.
Double damage.
And yeah, exactly that. The later this game goes, the more Insania and Taiga are going to be in trouble, but really more Insania. I mean, even grabbing the Nether Shawl, so outside of tower range, he's currently at 4 armor, so he'll be more than 0 if he takes even a dagger from the PA.
Puppy going to be found first, but the old Scepter offensively from Puppy does help him get away. He's going to use his Psychic Headband. Get back, he says. Double damage onto the PA. They need to be able to blow him up now, but Sumail, he actually got stuck inside the Chronosphere. Tumbaman's able to jump away, and maybe he can re-engage. I'll have to see. A bash comes out from the dagger. Mickey having to use Chronosphere and BKB, but not netting a kill there. Secret, they're going to be hungry for a fight now.
They got a big cooldown, so it's going to be key. No A blast, no coil. We can see there it only lasted, felt like 4.5, 5 seconds on Mickey, so effectively just taking it to the regular duration rather than the Scepter improved.
Man, I think that was 100% a kill. Sumail wasn't in the Chronosphere, right?
Yep.
He just changed the stun and...
Did he miss Blinkin?
I think the Chronosphere was down first, but I wasn't paying super close attention. He just walked into it. Oh my god,
no.
He just walked into it.
Oh no.
Oh, he thought he could sneak through on the side there. And that may just be extremely painful, as now they may be losing Koifa on the onset of the team fight or not. Saved by Insania, no magic damage there. Just a
whoa,
He's in deep, Nisha. He's in very deep, and he's dead. Traded out for Taiga so far. Mickey feeling a little bit bold, even without the Chronosphere, but there's going to be the buyback immediately as he turns to be able to jump away. Gets bashed up. Coil on a 2. Yapzor in deep. Goes for Insania. They're going to deny a false promise, and now the cores are in trouble of Liquid, but the damage is coming in. Koifa's going to be the first to die. Mickey with his BKB, he's feeling all right. Sumail actually heals himself up the full off all that spell lifesteal that he's got going on. The back line of both sides are falling, but ultimately Matumba Man died, and your entire lineup is predicated on his damage.
Yeah, that was such an awkward fight. I mean, what was Nisha must have just misclicked. He suddenly appears. You could see the stutter step, like, wait, what happened? And then he just dies in melee range of the Shrek. Oh, BKB, no BKB. You gotta be careful. He might catch the
They save the Oracle. They're gonna buy back immediately on Koifa. They know Mickey's in trouble. Mickey cheats on Mickey's Ice Blast, and Mickey's dead. Sand King may be traded out, but even that is going to be tough to get the kill on his Koifa. Oh, he couldn't get off the shockwave. That allows Yapzor to be able to blink away. He goes for the TP out. They just committed murder and didn't get caught.
Man, this is a little sloppy, Cap.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot on the line here in this game for both these teams, and there's a lot of unforced errors. Gotta say, what are you doing there, Mickey? There's no Oracle alive. Enemy heroes are still alive. The magic damage, he's at half HP with no BKB. There's nobody who can save him. Like, well, what's the players? Do you think that Mel's gonna land the God Stun, hit 3 heroes, and save him? There's no hope. The moment he catches that, he ults. But by the way, Puppey, as the hard support, has done a ton of work. If he gets the cold feet into the Yules off, suddenly a Yapzor stun represents like 6 seconds of disable. You see the giggles, and the amp from the Vortex plus the puck, like, that's it. 2,000 HP to 0.
Sumail, good courier micro, but it wasn't enough.
Courier.
You know, I rarely see the Divine Shield anymore. People just like, oh, my courier's dead.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Guess what's happening to Dyer's
Not worth. Other thing. Well, I typically don't see this as well. Look how much gold he has saved. You don't typically see 5,000 plus held on Sumail, and the sheepstick will be a huge item. A ton saved up on Mickey as well. So that gold lead for Secret, it's 2,000, but really it's more like 10 just because of how much Liquid has in the bank right now. They want to make sure they finish those items for a team fight.
I'm surprised Sumail didn't buy a piece of the components, unless, do you think he wanted to hide the scythe? I mean, it's not going to be hidden. He just flew under vision, so.
I'm sure. I love the pickup. Not sure if the goal was subterfuge or not. This is a real fast.
Look at that, bouncing onto the Hawk here to make sure they're all together before the Roshan does die. Now, look at this PA. He's got an Aegis, he's got Satanic, he's gonna have the Aghanim Scepter as well. If he gets level 25, this is like a monstrous power spike that is a huge difference between the last team fight Liquid took against them.
Yeah, the Ags, remember, it turns you into Katarina. You immediately refresh all spells on a kill. It is nuts. It means if he's able to pick off Insania, he can go straight for a core immediately after. You gotta be...
And
gotta be careful.
The added time that you're invisible or whatever, I don't know what state you want to call that, but like that is also very deadly when you do so much time.
That's true.
Because even just to have a second is like, oh, hey, 2 crits, you're dead. Taiga opens with a chain stun combo onto Matumba Man. Matumba Man getting RP'd as well. They need a little bit more, and they've got him. That's going to be the Aegis. It cost them a lot, but now they can go for the Chronosphere and let's die. He interrupts it. Managed to get the Primal Roar before the Chrono, but it's going to be saved by the False Promise, and it's even better Chrono than it was before. The BKB is out from Matumba Man, and it's buying him a little bit of time, and he goes for the execution onto Sumail. Jumps onto him, barely. Just a little bit of HP. He needed a little bit more, but the stuns are raining in. The BKB is out. Nisha goes for the kill instead, but the Oracle, he saved Sumail's life, kept him alive, traded his life for his cores. Matumba Man gets caught in a crazy opening from Taiga. And now they're going to look for a few more kills if possible. A little slowed down here, but they do have the Blink Dagger from Taiga. Eventually they'll catch up. Eventually they'll kill Puppey here. And thinking Zai might want to leave, but he's actually going to turn and fight potentially. Pramaror goes out. Nisha, he's coming in from the side here.
Neutral creep.
Once again, they're trying to do all this one without Matumba Ban, and the Hex comes in clutch for Sumail. The epicenter might just be enough to get the kill to quit, but no! Every single time, Secret, they're so close, but now he's dead. He's going to join the rest of his team in the grave. That is going to be 5+ wiped off the map, and Liquid, it's their turn to turn this game right around. Kyle, what's happening?
How the hell did Taiga survive? He blinked onto the high ground, charged, stunned PA to the face, cookied in, and just walked away. He survived the entire team fight. Meanwhile, Buyback's forced out on Secret side. They're not going to be able to defend at this point. Sumail's 25+, which means this push is insane. Yeah, of course you're thrown. You got Super Edict. You force all buybacks here. Do we have one? PA does not, but it'll be up soon. Puck dead forever.
Time to start chucking out those axes. They do have the
no
PA plus Ice Blast. That is very scary. So Liquid may just be content with forcing one buyback and saying, okay, let's just go for barracks now. The Primal Roar, fourth step, getting away. Cookie as well. Ice Blast is going to clip him, but it doesn't matter. They already undid the damage of Matumba Man. And Mickey, you can tell he's feeling very confident as he pushes forward. They're going to be able to clean up Zai and die back for him. All in onto Sumail, almost gets him again, but a Yule Scepter. Sumail does end up dying, but it's a two-man RP. Mickey starts going to work, already bringing down with a nice chain stun coming out from Taiga. The cookie and the shard is on point from this man. Liquid will take the first game against Team Secret.
Oh my god, and credit to the man. We're staring at his stomach right now, but Liquid fans, be thankful that you were able to ride on his back, because Taiga somehow starts off a fight that really they have no business winning. You said Satanic, PA free Ags, 10k gold advantage of the Aegis, and somehow they not just win, they crush the fight. They win the game 2 minutes later. How's it even possible?
That's the kind of shit that I've seen from like Thompson doing in his pubs when he was playing mid Snapfire. I've never seen a support Snapfire start a team fight with that kind of initiation and have it be clutch as all hell.
Straight up wins the game.
Straight up wins the game.
And also credit the way that they itemized. Just gonna say it one last time. Sumail only lives in that last fight because of how much spell life steal. It stacks.
True.
The spell amp does not. The regen amplification, the answer, all of these things combined. He went from like 100 HP to 1,000 just based on dealing damage.
Yep. No, who's amps?
My name is Jordan Gilbert, aka Nothing.
Hi, my name is Sue Lee. My handle is Smix. I think it's important for these initiatives to happen. Empathy really, really goes a long way, and it always means so much to us, and I think that's where initiatives like this really help.
I encourage everyone in the community, anytime they see bullying, anytime they see someone getting called names, I encourage you to step up and say something.
Good luck, have fun.
Good luck, have fun.
Start your esports career now at play.eslgaming.com.
game of this best of 3 series goes the way of Team Liquid, and it was a bit of a struggle. It was a very fun game to watch, of course, here at Best of 3. I'm here with T-Guff and Fogged, and they're going to help break this game down because we need that help, because it started looking very cookie-cutter clear that Team Liquid was going to easily take this game, and then at some point, Team Secret's draft did what it was supposed to, Fogged.
Yes. There was a good amount of, slip-ups from both sides this game. I think the two things that brought Secret back was just two little missteps with the Chronospheres, right? The Chrono that comes out on the PA down in the Radiant, where it was just Mikke. His rest of his team was cut off. Zai, of course, contributing to that with some Boar Slows. And then the secondary one where Sumail actually walks into the Chronosphere. A little bit of slip-ups there, but then we see at the end there. Taiga, a boss, jumps in, starts the fight for his team, sets up for this 3-man beautiful Chrono.
Yeah.
And yeah, some really good execution of team fights in the end there. But yeah, a lot of slip-ups from both sides.
Yeah, I'll say though, for Liquid's draft, it's all about the vision game and positioning. And the fights that they were having issues with early on was because Secret was hitting the timing of skirmish engagement. They were playing into open spaces, which allows for kind of the bad Chronos to come into play because of the disconnect. And then it turned around because their draft scaled nicer. And then they were taking fights where Secret had that confidence to cross the river, playing in front of their tier 2s. And it just allowed for Liquid to have like the best setup to every single engagement. Even when they're playing into top, like unfortunately AA misses a blast on a Leshrac. If they kill Leshrac, we're probably having a different story here. We're talking about how Secret broke down the racks, be able to keep that pressure up, but because of a couple slight miscues in team fights, it allowed Liquid to have the better kind of positioning and overall fight presence.
And getting off to a good start. I think that's the important thing too, right? The top lane, YapzOr having a very tough start in the game there, going mid, dying as well too. Just looks like he was just gonna not be able to do much of anything. Gets a couple clutch epicenters, but I mean, honestly, these two supports on Liquid were the big difference makers for me. They were very clutch with when they did cast their ultimates and get these like spell connections. On the side of Secret, we did see a lot of like missed synergy, right? We'd see an AA blast fly over, we'd see a coil. Then a couple seconds later, we'd see a roar and then an epicenter coming out. Not all coming together at the same time. When I see Liquid, they did have a little bit of better synergy when everything did collapse at the same time.
And most of the fights, at least later on, I mean, they were all on the side of Team Liquid, which normally is a bad sign. But you guys are both saying that that was basically helping Team Liquid set up fights, because otherwise Team Secret wouldn't want to fight, basically.
Yeah, Secret needs to apply pressure to break down the big cooldowns of Liquid, and like fundamentally, it was just that top siege when it's like 26 minutes or so, they're pressuring that tower. If they hit the AO on the Leshrac, they got that kill, the game's different because they're going to have that advantage where they can throw bodies in and be fine. The issue is, when you get to like 35 minutes plus, when your PA jumps in, dies, and there's Chrono still available because of the support saves, because of support initiation, it does unlock a much easier fight. And as you see here in the highlight, it was so close.
Very close.
And like his death, as you see here, does he have buyback? He doesn't have buyback. So that would have just been an advantageous fight. And you know, it's just kind of the same story every time, where they had just enough or just missed it, but not enough to go break down the game. And with their type of draft, it was all about maybe a slow entry to game, but high-paced pressure. And they were always one key spell, like Fogg mentioned, the disconnect within Secret did look a bit apparent there because they weren't always perfectly layering their spells like we're used to seeing.
And I think we probably will see Oracle, especially if they're going to go for the AA. I think they're going to put more priority on the Oracle. Insania's he's too good at it.
It's Insania's Oracle.
Really.
We know this too, right? This I feel like this was also one of those drafts. Oracle Lesh for Team Liquid.
How was that second phase?
It's versus Puppey. He's gonna let it through once because he thinks he has a plan against it. Obviously, it didn't work. It was very close to working, though. You could see where he was going with it. But yeah, there will be a lot of people saying, you know, why do you let that through, right? Because it is their bread and butter. And they proved it here again. So we're going to find out if we're going to have an Oracle this game round, in Game 2, that is, as the Game 2 is right around the corner. So stay tuned. We will be right back.
After the break.
So much.
Just like we planned it, over and over again.
here. Team Secret, Team Liquid going head-to-head in the best of 3, and it is game 2, and that means that they're...
First 2,
No.
because it's just pointless. It's a second phase ban if your draft can't deal with it. That's the main thing.
Absolutely.
But there's 3 bans. You have the space to ban that, right?
What were the ban? What were actually all?
So
three of
last-
them?
I will tell you, for Secret, they banned Tiny, Windranger, and Grimstroke.
Yeah, the only kind of off ban from that previous game, I would say maybe the Grimstroke.
I think the Grimstroke for sure.
From Secret. I think maybe an Oracle ban in place, because right now in that position, they ban Windrunner because of the hard counter to PA,
Yes.
the MKB build, the 1v1 duel that PA will win. And then you think about that next ban, it's like, okay, we need to respect Insania here. He's not going to pick Warlock for the lockdown. He needs an enabling support, be it Oracle or Grim. So it was a 50-50. In the moment they ban one, suddenly they get hit by the other. And
Suddenly,
like,
who would have known?
Like, what happens though? You ban Oracle, and now suddenly they have Grim, and then they might pair it with like some Doom or some
it would be more aggressive.
Exactly.
They would go for more of aggressive stuff. So for sure. And you know what? They're actually just gonna ban the AA. They're like, they did miss a couple of these ultimates, and they did leave that Oracle. So they change up the whole narrative. They'd take away the Snapfire. You know, that's super popular, super flexible.
But now will Ench be?
Ench is open. Yep. So.
Yeah, they went for Snap for the first one though.
Yep.
Of course, don't want to give that.
Open. Yep. So.
Yeah, they went for Snap for the first one though.
Yep.
Of course, don't want to give that to Ty Guy again. That looked way too good.
Mm-hmm.
Enchantress.
And Team
Holy
Liquid,
cow.
they will end up going for the
Mag?
Enchantress.
Are they just going to be on the mag train today?
Do you think they'll do the mag? No, I think they might.
Yep, there it
they
is.
will.
This is the thing about these teams. When you have so long to prepare for series, you come in going, we're playing against X team, and this will be the strategy that we beat them with. Or like, it's like the concept.
Yeah.
And right now, Magnus is the concept they're using.
I also feel like, and I've been talking with Brian a bunch about it too, and we've been talking back there, that Magnus feels
5 seconds.
pretty
Good.
damn strong, honestly. Like, Shockwave just in lane is so threatening, so powerful. We saw some nice double skewers, nice action coming out. You're always a BKB disable that's coming from that off lane too, and you're always enabling your carry. You got Empower, so it's always going to be something excellent scaling into the late game. I like the approach.
I just love how in every single patch, Magnus starts off not being picked.
Man.
It's either like, so when the patch comes out, this is what happens with Magnus. Oh, he's so broken, we can farm because no one knows what's good or bad. So you go for the guy that can farm.
Yeah.
And then people find out what's good and they go, we don't want to farm anymore, we want to fight, no mag. And then people go to the tail end of a patch or when it's more discovered and go, wait a second, we can farm again. And it's,
Farm and fight.
Exactly. Yeah, it's like the beauty of Magnus. Every patch always the same. And
wow, they're really just opening up with these carries this time around. And also now they're not going for PA, and this will cover if a PA does get left because he's got the war cry and stuff to be able to always.
But they ban it and respect.
And they ban it anyways. Who cares?
Did they not have the exact same opener when they were playing up against Alliance in Game 3, Team Secret?
They won that game with the Sven, right?
No.
One of the games I remember watching, they did win with the Sven, right?
They won versus Tundra with the
They
Sven.
won with the Tundra. Okay.
But I like the Sven pick because my concern against and why Fold likes Magnus is because cores don't really want to buy Battle Fury anymore. They want to be active items, like we see Juggernauts going like SMY, maybe a Maelstrom, Ags, and same for pretty much all cores. It's about fighting. And when you get Magnus in the game, it improves that tenfold. So there are a few heroes that innately can farm to the same capacity that an empowered core can. Of course, Sven with the cleave pretty much bridges that gap.
10 seconds.
Surprised to see the Centaur ignored then so far, which is no, I think maybe you want to pick Centaur instead of Sven. I wonder because Sven's not going to get banned.
Oh, potentially. Well, honestly, I think it could have been for sure. Like,
okay.
When you think about the cores that have such quick farming mechanics,
10 seconds to go.
Sven is up there, and I think that is a team like Secret. They identified their loss comes from the fact that they needed PA to come online and they had to make moves. Like Sven simplifies the process. So no, I fully respect this this opening of the Sven.
So there's an easy ban then for Secret as their third ban will be the Juggernaut, right?
Potentially, yes. I'm trying to think else what really comes into play that is disruptive. You know, PA, we just saw Void work really well. Juggernaut would come to mind if they want to go super high pace. Let me see what they picked last time when they had the
10
Enchantress.
seconds to go.
Being specific.
Radiant's
Not really. They
banned.
just actually just keep it pretty open.
You bet.
Ooh,
And there it is.
There we go. Okay, there we go.
That's the adjustment.
Yeah, I like that ban much better than we did see that when we did see that Grimstroke ban.
Yeah.
But Liquid's still going for the same type of style bans, the big counter initiators, right? They're banning out the Phoenix, they're banning out the Tidehunter, these two combo breakers.
10 seconds to go.
To me, though, this is like the beauty of a best of 3 with like tier 1 teams. It's how one team wins. Going into next game, they're not changing too much, just picking is what's given to them. And then the other team, they've kind of drastically changed up how they're approaching like certain bans, how they're picking new heroes in new phase. And potentially this could be why Liquid is unable to win game 2, is because they are a little bit more happy playing the same strat 2 times in a row.
That's fair.
And then game 3, that's when they really bring up. But it's interesting to see how one team, or Liquid specifically, they align themselves to what works until it's broken. One more ban from Liquid though.
Yep.
Counter initiation is the story of their bans thus far.
Radiant's pick.
And they'll ban out the Centaur still.
So still just
That's nice.
pushing them side quite a bit there.
Surprise!
So yeah, it's going to be more of aggressive kind of style.
Yep.
Sven can also suffer a bit versus Soulbind is just an annoying ability in general, even when you get BKB, since Sven's big timing is that. I mean, this is just Liquid specialty.
What do they pair up with the Grimstroke? Like, do
10
they pair up
seconds to
anything
go.
in particular with that? Because, you know, with the Oracle,
Because we haven't seen Sumail on that many different heroes, right? It's basically Lushrek, Puck, Windranger, Morph, and Tiny. Tiny's still in the pool.
Works well with it, Grimstroke, yeah.
Yeah, and it's a flex pick, of course, for Liquid as well. Mickey can play it. They'll end up going for the Willow on the side of Secret.
I think the main thing here from Liquid is the fact that, unlike other Enchantress players, Tiger often goes for tankiness. He goes for a Solar Crest, he goes for a Pipe, and he's the one face checking the high ground, like he kind of did on the Snapfire, utilizing the blink and getting in the face. And that's my secret. They need to make sure they have damage types to deal with Ench coming face check, and that's why they go for a Willow.
They're gonna go
Sven eats through it, and
they go Juggernaut. Yep. This is a hero that doesn't, like, Willow doesn't do anything to you. In laning phase, you do not care about Willow at all. So I do like that pick. You're great with the Jug synergy. I like Willow though versus that Enchantress. We've seen a lot of times the Ench is just unkillable. I do like to at least go for that. And it's counter initiation. That's one thing too. It's like you see this RP come out, you just blanket the area with that fear. You can actually cover decently. Pre-BKBs, or, I mean, if there was no spin, Magic Immunity instantly off, so.
But we saw the Jugger coming, so Secret, they have to be prepared for this as well.
And they've got Warcry. Like, Sven can be pretty good versus Sure, you do see, you know, the armor is great, but there's going to be Maelstrom that comes up for the Jug, and now it's 100% like Maelstrom build because you're going to be playing it to Guardian Angel.
Such as like a
buffed up Sven.
Like a traditional counter to Mag Jugger. So you have Wyvern for the Cold Embrace and the Winter's Curse, or you just have Guardian Angel on the Omni Knight.
Enough in the RP for the single target, and that's what they're going to go for. They're going to just go straight for the Sven a lot of times. So
get a creep in there too. Maybe if an Ench has the creep plus the Ench, that's now 2. You're looking good.
Yeah, that could be.
But at least Secret, they have the counter. I think the main fear for Secret, even though Omni's a pretty speedy boy, he can be potentially threatened in laning. Have some responses now.
What if they go for something like an Invoker for Team Liquid? The Quasquack's super valuable for Dispels.
Yeah, that's true. No, yeah.
It's actually really, really good versus both Sven and Omni Knight. You remove Warcry, you move Guardian Angel inside the midst of the fights. Also, just EMP versus these tanky strength heroes is super valuable. And Alacrity for Jug. It's all going to be about buffing up, so I think it's a possibility, but we haven't seen Sumail played in some time, I don't think.
The question for Secret, they have the first pick coming out of the ban phase, and it's what do they need? Because they have immense amount of physical damage with Sven when he gets items. They have an immense amount of magic damage with Willow and Snap. So it's not as if they're like needing to kind of fix anything in their draft. If anything, I'd say cheap wave clear is the key thing for them to be able to continuously take fights.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of aligned to like maybe like a Kunkka, in my opinion. Just connect the team fight right now, because they just lack a little bit of that something to glue everyone into the same position and force a fight.
I mean, it's a Nisha special. Sure, and it does give you the Rum. Rum buff is always going to be nice versus that RP and everything too.
They're going to ban the Storm. Right.
Okay.
Which, again, like both teams, they lack clean disable, because you have roots from Willow, you have a cookie, and then it's Sven's done. That's basically Secret team fight.
Windranger at your service.
And they just
Windranger!
Oh, wow. But in that case, I mentioned the lack of stun. That's what enables Windrunner, right? No tower damage and no stuns gives Windrunner a free game, because she doesn't really pressure objectives, and she doesn't really pressure the map too much, so she's more of an AFK style hero until she has farm. But okay. That's fair.
But you're also into the Dispel, like a Windrun. You can be dispelled by an Enchantress, can be very, very annoying. Also, now it's 2 heroes. Like, if you do get the Soulbind on Windrunner, as well as like a Sven or something, it's gotta be pretty devastating. It's an interesting pick.
That's the main thing here. It gives Liquid a window of the game to utilize Enchantress to mitigate what Secret has.
Yeah.
This Dispel will destroy in the pickoffs. But when BKBs come into play and the mid-game fights come in, this Ench will just be a tanky hero running around. This Dispel is now out of the window, and Winner will be able to execute whoever she goes on.
That's very true.
BKB +1. So yeah, it does. Secret are just been a lot more patient game. They'll have to farm up, and then they'll scale to a happier point, like unlike the last game where they were always looking like they're on the clock forcing the play. Like, they're not forcing anything right now, because eventually Sven Winona will be the biggest in this game.
Yeah, very true. Yeah, BKBs will be, I mean, that's going to be a big timing. Like, it's all, Sven is usually built around, like, you get you get the speed of your items, you get this BKB +1 item faster than the other core, so definitely work out there nicely. And they're just going to go for a safe.
Casual DK.
Casual DK. No funny business. Run of the mill. Going to be able to farm in the mid lane very nicely versus Windranger. And it's a hard lockdown. Yeah. And they do have the Grimstroke. There's a lot of times when I don't really like when people just like you double down too much on the Grimstroke combos where it's like you need to get the Doom. This is just a soft commit. You know, it's a Dragon Tail double stuns, gonna be really potent. And now they can actually set a fast tempo on Liquid too. It's got greed with the Magnus to scale, but it's also got a good group up mentality with DK Jug.
Yeah, Secret, I mentioned that they lack wave clear. This Windrunner pick doesn't really help that too much. And now when Liquid, they kind of double down on map pressure, they can easily start pressuring these ejectors. Secret are going to have to kind of quickly recover the map and then try and take the fight. So yeah, Liquid gave themselves a nice window to play around to punish what Windrunner and Sven need in the game to get online. And it's kind of like the script is kind of flipped now. Because in game 1, Secret was a team that needed to make the moves and they're going to have issues playing later. But now it's kind of the opposite. Secret, the one, they'll happily play. So they'll play for the late game. And it's on Liquid to ramp up that tempo and stop Windrunner from getting to the point where she can 1v9 with 3 or 4 items.
The way you guys are talking, though, I'm getting the feeling that you both are favoring Team Liquid's draft in this one.
Not as much as the last game, but still favoring them a little bit. Maybe like 60, maybe 55, 45, 60, 40. Very slight, to be honest.
That's what I was leaning towards.
Well, that is
it's all about the Windrunner, because, you know, Windrunner, they can pop off or they can do literally nothing. So, it's basically just
no pressure.
No pressure at all. You either do something or you win.
All right, well, let's find out if Nisha can carry his team to victory then here in game 2. We're heading over to a commentary duo of Cap and Kyle.
Places, everyone.
You know, Kyle, not to expose you or anything, but after that game 1, took off the headsets and you said, of course we're going to see a game 3. It's Liquid.
Stop jungling.
And I was like, wait, let me look through the history. And yeah, of season 2 and season 1, there has only been one 3-game series where Liquid lost the first game and won the second game. Every other series has gone 3 games, which is a lot of them, by the way. They have won game 1 and then lost game 2, and then it's a toss-up from there.
Yep. They can't win game 2s, Cap. That's just how it is.
So, the only times they outside of that one OG instance in season 1, yeah, they've 2-0'd Hellbear Smashers this season, you know. But like every other one is what is that? There's got to be a reason. That is just not coincidence.
Game 2 is winner bracket.
Okay.
Game 3 is lower bracket. You know, you can't afford to lose again, so it's a little different. As to why they can win the first game, I'm not sure. Maybe it's something to do with their preparation. You know, they've got a couple of great coaches that help out the squad. Notably, they're committing to first 2ing Koifa's hero. I think this is the right move. His pool is a little limited at the moment. He's just switched. And I think that their drafts, you'll notice, are pretty much built around his hero's kits. Whether it's Slaughter or Mag, damage amplification is the name of the game.
Thanks a lot. Thanks, guys. Thanks a lot.
What do you think about this pickup for Sumail, though? Like, Koifa, all right, Yeo Faithful, get him those kind of heroes. But Sumail, we've seen him so many times on Leshrac so far for Liquid. Now being put on the DK, it's not really exciting for me, Kyle.
But it's the right pick. And I think knowing Sumail, he'll find a way to make it entertaining for everybody. They'll probably still lose again game 2, but Ember Spirit was the other direction I thought they might go, but I think DK is a stronger pick. They needed something a little tankier, and the point stun is really nice against these backlines, you know, finding the Wind Ranger later on. Also a better laner. Wind Ranger's really annoying to lane against, but DK, of course, with the built-in plus armor, should be just fine at level 3+.
And what do you think about this Omni Knight pickup? I mean, Owen in the back was Omni Knight. What's going on here? But do you have the same kind of reaction? Do you not like Omni Knight core right now?
I think it's pretty solid. I think Zai's probably been watching Siraction Slack's streams, much like I have. The offlane Omni Knight is definitely something that he's exceptional in. It is.
Okay.
And in theory, it does sort of fit. You know, there aren't many good offlaners, right? We keep talking about Koifa's pool being small. Maybe that's just because the pool itself is small. What have we seen? Centaur, Slardar, Magnus, maybe a Beastmaster here and there. Like, what other... We've seen people forcing Necrophos, LC. I'd rather have an Omni Knight than an LC.
Yeah, it really seems like only China is managing to make Legion Commander look really good.
Yeah.
And in theory, I've always liked the idea of Omni Knight with the Heavenly Grace that they changed. giving you that bonus 32 strength.
Yeah.
If you have a strength 1 position, I feel like that's a huge boon to you, and Sven is going to be one of the best heroes to take advantage of that.
Yeah, Secret might not have been successful so far in Season 2, but this does make a lot of sense. You can see the way it was crafted, because not just the plus damage for this Sven, he'll get the massive status resistance as well. 50 base every level. I don't know, I'm telling you, Omni Knight, it's one of those heroes, it's either never picked or it's OP. There's really no middle ground, the way that the kit's balanced.
TP's out, but the Inkswell came off just in time in first blood for Insania.
Not bad. That's the Grimstroke Juggernaut lane in a nutshell. You just can't really ever beat it.
That being said, Kyle, it does look like Matamaman's lane is not going so hot. I'm going to assume this is the power of Taiga and his Enchantress and the effect of Impetus. Impetus, man, makes even the tankiest heroes just look... Oh, pull back again. Puppy's in trouble here. The last shot. Does he have a Fairy Fire? He doesn't. All he had was a healing salve. Didn't want to pop that. So a second kill now for Liquid.
Yeah, Ench is really nice against the Sven. It used to be a bit better when Impetus was the ulti and then pierced BKB. And that's another kill onto Zai, it appears. Yeah. But the Dispel on Warcry is very nice. And I think Taiga is going to have one of those games that you just go off. Windrun is also dispellable, so the defensive abilities of both cores can be removed easily. And look for Taiga, especially if he gets off to a good start in the laning phase. I think he can really take this one over, and a threat to mid as well. If he saves W, there's no save mechanism for Nisha. He's going to just straight up die. Pop Windrun, dispels, then slowed. He'll go down to a DK +1.
Brambles catches Insania, but he's already dug away through the trees. Mickey, he may have gotten some kills, but now they're out of regen, so trading hits with Zai doesn't feel so good. Mid-lane matchup is going kind of like you talked about, pretty even so far.
Difficulties. That's what we can expect.
Oh, surprise cookie. Koifa is pretty tanky, so he'll survive through this onslaught for sure. But he doesn't have a bunch of regen, so he can't really re-engage to help Taiga too much. All he can do is throw out the Shockwave, but the Impetus shot and another Shockwave perhaps from the Satyr would get him low. Not enough to kill, though. Yapzor. Ooh. Hey. Courier, there goes the magic wand. Bye-bye. Back over to top lane. It looks like they tried to go for the kill and do manage to get it this time on Puppy.
This lane is so strong. Arcane boots already up on Koifa, just spamming spells, and Taiga gets the best creep possible to come pressure a lane with. The Satyr does so much damage with the Hadouken.
And the regen, helped out Koifa and brought some Chi back into his pool. Is actually stacking for them so he can clear it with the Tornado. Cute play.
Yeah. Dude, Ench is so underpicked. Like, I think Chen as well. It's these two heroes, you know, there's really 4 or 5 that I think are just going to be staples. And we saw TI announced. It's coming. We all know what's on the calendar. Chen, Enchantress, Nature's Prophet, Earthshaker, Wisp. We'll be at every TI. We'll be strong at every TI until proven otherwise. It's been a decade. Oh.
Do you feel like the big team fighters like Enigma and Tidehunter will get more popular? Or do you feel like they're already kind of at their peak?
I think it's situational at the moment. They'll always be valid, but hard to say.
Love this rotation, by the way. Enchantress coming in with an enchanted creep. Meanwhile, bottom, and they're going to go for Zai here. I feel like the Purification probably puts him over the top here. As, he's more than healthy enough to be able to survive through this.
Look, he got a regen on Sumail, so he managed to pressure the tower now.
Oh, yeah, they still kept that tower alive. Thanks to all these enchanted creeps that Taiga's bringing, they managed to get the mid tower super early. It's going to cost Taiga his life, and they also managed to get the deny. If they can get Sumail as well, that'd be fantastic. A nice shackle shot. They don't have the damage to back up the disable.
Man, if Nisha hadn't used his ulti at the end there before he went back to base, I think that's a kill on Sumail, because he has the Javelin, so the magic damage procs very effective.
Nice little double bounty rune here. By the way, I'm not 100% certain on this, but I believe runes percolate again.
Percolate?
Yeah, they now increase their cost the longer they sit there. You get more gold out of it. I believe for some reason that changed, because I've noticed when double bounties are set down, you're getting the same amount of gold for both of them. which would imply it's more important about the time than when it spawned. The current time than when it spawned.
Huh.
So just a little heads up for people out there.
It's kind of dangerous though to leave those on the ground.
Oh yeah, no.
You don't want to leave things on the ground, Cap. Homatu. You can see he's actually skipped Warcry out of fear of the Dispel. I mean, I think most Svens probably do, but I think I've seen a lot of 1-3-1s in the past. They'll likely just move to the jungle at some point. Farming quite well top, even down 5-1. Liquid have been successful getting kills up top, but it's really, really difficult to just shut down a Sven.
You want to know how I found that out, Kyle?
How'd you find that out?
I was playing my pub. We were winning the game super hard. Went back to our triangle. 5 bounties sitting there.
Wow.
Picked them all up, and I'm like, wait a minute. These are all worth the same amount of gold.
Yeah. Our observer confirming that in the little info box on the top right. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Always love confirmation. 5-1. Net worth very even right now. Maybe seeing a lot of good kills all around the map from Liquid. This time it's Secret being able to find the 1-up here. But once again, Liquid getting kills, but not necessarily winning the net worth exchange in the laning phase. It's kind of interesting, especially since they took the mid tower so early. Sure, it was denied, but it's still a little bit of extra gold.
The deny, I think, is what really hurts them in that regard. But the map control will be nice. It just makes it easier for Taiga to play. Has the medallion rush. Now looking to perhaps make a move up on top. Yeah, Sumail's here. You have Empower. Why not just push another tower? But that means Secret, they're likely going to abandon. Sven to the jungle. Now he's shooting more heroes towards bottom to try and pressure in return.
But it does mean you're moving a bunch of heroes into a Juggernaut lane. It's always kind of hard to pressure, right? He's one of those like known heroes, Lifestealer Juggernauts. And like it's hard taking his tower because it's hard killing the carry in the first place.
And I like the build. Liquid are going for a much more aggressive strategy in this game. You know, Blink is going to be the item rushed on Sumail. Juggernaut going a Maelstrom. It is the benefit, of course. You have a mag, so you can afford to go for these fighting items because your late game and your scaling won't be punished because you're always going to have free cleave handed to you by Koifa. So I like this. And they also, when they wish, can set up for a pretty easy Roche. A Medallion into Solar Crest Rush will be the choice on Taiga. And then they have Healing Ward. So whenever they have time, they can just walk into the pit.
Keeping up to top lane, seeing if they can punish Sumail here. Never mind, that's 2 supports.
Yeah.
I saw the TP in, and I was like, oh, maybe they're making a play. I didn't think about whose color was who. It's a Snapfire Dark Willow. That's not going to be enough.
That ward Puppy had placed earlier in his own jungle should have seen Taiga place his. Puppy and Kuro, 2 of my favorite 5s to watch ward. They're always really diligent about ensuring that when necessary they place defensive wards. A lot of supports can get caught up thinking that vision across the river is more valuable, but in games like this when you've lost a couple of towers, it's really important to have that.
Sumail's coming! And he gets them. The haste rune allows him to catch up. They're going to chain it with the RP. They weren't using him for much anyway. Nisha may still be able to survive here. See if he could juke it out. Doesn't have a TP to go back to base though, so honestly, I feel like he almost needs to die here just because otherwise he's spending a lot of time not hitting creeps. He's going to try for it, pull back into that tier 2 range. The win run lasting just long enough that only one of the shots goes through to hit him. It's almost enough to kill him. Still has 11 magic wand charges and a fairy fire. This time, if he win runs through, Taiga's going to be able to catch him with the enchant. The shackle shot, he tried to catch him before the enchant, which was a smart play, but sadly, doesn't quite work.
I think Sumail just ditched. He's like just farming mid that whole time.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Omni Slash. Sticks on to Zai. Does a decent amount of damage. Still has a spin, but Thunderman's going to make sure that Mickey does not feel good about going for that kill any longer. They're going to get out the healing ward. And Koifa still sitting on the side here. Surprises Zai for a second, but he's got plenty of backup. The 2 supports are here. Everybody out. And Zai, one of the downsides of Omni Knight, that's an offlaner without a disabled, so he can't stop Liquid from retreating like that.
That was terrifying. He just got it's a rushed Echo Saber on the Tumbleband, so he nearly, I think Mickey wisely immediately retreated. Otherwise, he almost certainly goes down. Stun lands.
Still gonna go for it, trying to get the chain stun here. The Inkswell will buy Koifa a little bit of space. They don't want to overly commit, but still, Bramble, wait. Oh. Still managed to get him after the skewer. Matumba Man claims a kill. They'll go back to chopping away at that tower.
A selfless action. Empowered his Juggernaut rather than skewering away immediately. Leads to his demise. But it will give Mickey that extra farm. Priorities.
I'm just imagining Mickey. Bro, before you die, before you go, want to hit me up with an empower?
Bottom towers seen better days.
Taiga doing his typical, big greedy 4-position thing, farming the other side of the map. This is a guy you want to get farmed. Sadly, he does go down here. It's going to be traded up for Yapster on the other side. So, both of our greedy 4s down another death.
That's a blink reveal on the DK, but they'll take that kill. And yeah, Wind Ranger, quite nice in this game, both against Ench and Jug, because you just channel your ultimate. And later on in the game, I've been convinced slowly by some of the other talent that Wind Ranger is actually better and better in the late game than it was previously, just because of how mobile you are with Wind Run and Ags, and then the threat to always be able to kill an enemy core. Like even an item behind, you can kill an enemy core because of that MKB rush. But we'll see. I mean, Sven, top of the net worth, and Matu, you know, he's played this hero many a time. He understands his position, has the mask too, so not punished for the lack of lifesteal. Should be able to sustain his farm no matter what he takes down, even this big ancient stack.
What is it about Secret that I've noticed that they could be down in kills quite a bit, but they're very efficient with farming. I guess camp stacked is pretty good metrics there to show exactly why they're up in net worth despite being down 3 kills and 1 tower.
They play the map better, I think.
Yeah.
Gotta keep in mind, Liquid, you know, consider that Wind Ranger kill, right? How much CS time was lost as 3 heroes chase Nisha all through the jungle. This is a Secret lineup that's very good at min-maxing. Their macro, I think, is a big part of the reason they've been so dominant throughout most of this season. Well, not this DPC season, but, you know, the last year.
They've been successful for quite some time. The Terrorites into the Bramble, and Koifa's very dead here. So, a successful smoke gank. Meanwhile, much of Liquid is on the other side of the map.
Dire's top tower's getting beat down.
Don't necessarily have... they've got some physical damage. I was thinking about, like, how early can these teams Roshan? Secret, much better at it for sure than Liquid.
Maelstrom completed a BKB rush on Nisha. I think it's the right move. Can't dispel Wind Run through the Magic Community, which means that theoretically you can't kill Nisha. Like,
yeah,
you just can't, as long as he gets the BKB off and Wind Runs before.
The illusion rune disjoining the ranged dragon tail.
Did he mean to do that? He must have.
100% he meant to do that.
Wow.
I mean, maybe he didn't know exactly what was going to be happening, but he hit his panic button.
Indeed.
You know?
Reflexes.
Beautiful stuff.
Oh, he saw them. Okay, he had a little bit of warning.
Yeah.
All right. I've played the reflex game. I've definitely lost a step over the years. There's the trademark Nisha smile. I just outplayed you. His hands weren't even on the keyboard. Cap, what was he doing?
Yeah, you know, I mean, he's hitting neutrals right now, so, you know, who needs to...
I wish I could be so relaxed playing Pro Dota.
Oh, God. Tell me about it.
We tracked my heart rate for a couple of scrims even, and I was spiking up to like 160, 170, and that was when I was in shape.
Do you feel like you were you prone to panic ever?
Wouldn't say panic, but definitely, you know, had the similar mentality and attitude as to when I was playing like more active sports, like, you know, American football and such. But I don't know if that mentality was really suited for esport, to be quite honest. You gotta have ice in your veins to perform with a mouse and keyboard.
Yeah, you gotta have that, at least for Dota in a way, it feels like you need that cool, calm composure at all times.
Yeah. Fear not heresy.
Easier said than done.
Absolutely.
Let's see, Zai. What's he going for? That's Solar Crest. Big surprise. It's another reason I feel like Omni should perhaps find a place in the meta. Think of the items he buys, right? Soul Ring into Solar Crest. Yeah, that's pretty much offlaner special right there, and makes a lot of sense on the hero. Mid, we might have a fight. They're wrapping. Sumail.
They go for Sumail here with Matamaman catching his Stadium in the back line. A beautiful execution by Team Secret as they now look to be able to finish off Sumail. The Omni Slash skewer away. Koifa will protect his team by keeping Matamaman at bay. Mickey wasn't able to do much damage with the Omni Slash. The Inkswell sending 2 supports, but again, not much is here. And Insania may just be dying a second time here. The Cookie hops him over, and that's a dieback for him. Terrorize
trying to get out. Beautiful shackle shot from Nisha's Liquid, lining up like pins for that one to work out. Koifa, he's going to be run down all the way underneath the tier 2, and if Sumail's not careful, Secret may just run him over as well. They turn back to the tier 1 tower. Great team fight for Secret.
Yeah, they're just way too strong right now, Cap. Excellent wraparound. They force Sumail away, but they more importantly get the kill on Grimstroke right off the bat. And the trouble is, Liquid, they just don't have the damage right now. Sure, you have Mag Jug, but consider the HP pools on these cores. Not to mention GA. So just straight up negating RP and potentially the Omni Slash as well. Omni is also one of the old school counters to a Magnus. If you RP and you don't get the Omni, he can remove it, and he can also then just GA. The whole Omni Slash negated. Now what? The damage output disappears. Matu, so long as his ult's running, his damage output is static and consistent. And he's 3,000 net worth ahead of the game. 4,000. It's huge.
In some ways, it feels like Team Liquid. I mean, isn't their lineup? I know they've got Mag, and so they've got this Empower, but like, shouldn't Sven out carry Juggernaut?
Oh yeah.
So this is just going to get worse and worse, right?
I think with the Omni as this sort of I win card. Oh god,
Tough a bit. What happened to you? You got a grudge against Insania or something? That's 3 kills in a row for him.
And also just want to shout out to any of you pub stars watching. Notice the lack of a Midas in Matumba Man's inventory.
Oh.
Didn't buy a Midas. He went for battling items. His net worth still fine, still on the top of the charts.
But if he had a Midas on top of all the kills and CS that he had, he would be even higher.
That's true. He might not be 6-0 though. Deaths unfortunately do detract from your investments. Okay, he's gonna get out of here with a long TP.
Yeah, seriously, the shackle shot almost caught him because he TP'd onto a shrine.
Old shrine duration TP would have got him 6 seconds versus the now 5. Yeah, you had major damage issues on Liquid.
Yeah, they seriously. Look at Insania. 4th death in a row. The handsome Matumba Man. It just won't stop.
Yeah. I love this. I love this Sven build. Just all in on the move speed. No blink either. Just straight up damage output. And the Daedalus is just such a sick third item. Nobody on Liquid can afford evasion. He's going to walk up, stun somebody, and crit him to death.
Yeah.
By far the most damage per gold efficient item on a Sven, because you get so much plus from your ultimate.
Yeah, to add to what you were saying about like him just no blink or anything, just running at people, he's ignoring status resistance thanks to, or a bunch of stuns thanks to status resistance from Zai, and then he's also got the cookie to help him get a little bit of extra mobility and a bit of a chain stun as well. So he is fully taking advantage of his allies toolkit as well. See, Taiga has indeed been playing the top half of the map this entire game, pretty much.
Yeah, but typically Liquid's able to exert a little more pressure on the map. You know, just check out Secret's warding. You can kind of see the way this game is going. They are firmly rooted in Liquid's side of the map at the moment. So no one can really play up here with Taiga and use the space that he's making. Sure, Mika, he can farm this jungle, but it's only because Secret have chosen to run at the other side of the map. But for now, oh, hang on.
I mean, he's just going to be forced to spin TP, just like we saw Deja Vu a minute and a half ago.
Yep. And I was talking about how the Mag just sort of removed the damage issues Liquid might run into, but I think I might have been mistaken. The Omni Knight covers you in the team fights, and farming speed-wise, Sven needs no Empower to be able to clear jungle plus waves super efficiently. Sumail has Blink and Halberd. Those are very, very low damage purchases. You just don't kill the Secret lineup for now. Maybe a big Grimstroke ulti into a double stun. We've seen one RP, it only landed on a single hero, so magic may still happen, but I say that with some trepidation because this is Liquid and it is game 2.
Yeah, with the lineup that was supposed to take over the game a bit more than they have. And now a Daedalus, boy, the big hitting
21 minutes
keep rolling in for Secret. Yeah, this is looking like, unless something dramatically changes here, as Taiga does manage to...
he took the outpost.
He did.
They took it back.
They literally got nothing out of that because the experience that outpost gives you happens on the minute.
Yep.
So it didn't even deny 20, 40 experience, I think.
Yeah, and now I think if you're Secret, you just walk down lanes. This is the power of the draft. Like Zai, he just solar crests his Sven, and Mothman says thank you and hits buildings.
Gonna catch him this time. The Terrorize to chain up with the shackles.
And Nisha is not even necessary, so he's just continuing to hunt. Has the Grove Bow.
Is it just the BKB winner? Like, I feel like Liquid should try and punish Nisha's solo plays eventually, or maybe they can punish Man. He does have an Aegis, but there's nobody around.
There's a Zai.
He doesn't have BKB. I think he's just dead. Underneath the tier 2, they're going to make sure of it too. They throw down the RP. Zai's coming in. Soulbound up. Silence does manage to get off the Guardian Angel and turn around. The damage coming out, but the Skewer will hold the Man spin in place long enough. Nice blink away from Koifa as well. An opportunity to change the fate of this game, perhaps, for Liquid. They killing the carry, dead for 50 seconds. So let's see what they can do with this.
That's a sick play. Like, man, Koifa, you talk about how is he adjusting the offlane. That was nasty. Their only real opening, they not only kill a core, the one with the Aegis, turn the game on its head, and now they hunt. You don't have RP, but you still have DK form if you can find somebody else.
Yep, he's speedy.
There's a clutch silence from Insania to prevent the immediate GA and cleanse from Zai's Omni.
Yeah, I mean, that, like, Koifa, he had to skewer at the last second there just to prevent Man from wiping him out. What a world of difference it would have been if there was a faster Guardian Angel at play.
And the one benefit, though, this is why Ench traditionally always quite nice against Omni Knight, is that you can dispel the GA, and of course Impetus pure damage goes through the Guardian Angel itself, even if you don't remove it. So Taiga is really, I think, the one to watch from the side of Liquid.
Do you think he's made that call too? That's why he's been farming top so aggressively and stuff. He's like, guys, if we're gonna win this game, it's gonna be me carrying it.
Yep. I really do. He's even getting a Witchblade. He has the Dragon Blade. He just got a Grove Bow. This is actually the dream for an Ench, the ideal neutral item.
Does mean Secret are going to have to be very careful when they do push high ground, because it still looks like Team Secret's going to be controlling the map. They may be the ones pushing high ground first, and that's probably where Enchantress is going to be the most deadly.
That was the first Roche, right? Yeah. So the second Roche is actually pretty big here. Liquid would love a shard for their Juggernaut, because effectively just the extra gold and more so the damage output, because he's going that build as is. Manta into Scotty, it appears. But the shard would be very nice.
How does Team Liquid itemize to deal with this Sven? Because obviously, like, he's going to be a problem for the rest of the game. He's 100% online. He's going to have a Satanics.
Radiant's bottom tower's done for.
Hard to say. So the Halberd is nice. It limits 2 damage output, but at least it gives you a tool you can perhaps get a disarm off as he opens. You got to run from his TP though. Maybe this is a better answer, Cap. As you watch 4 Liquid heroes retreat from a lone Sven TP.
Radiant's mid tower's coming apart.
That's how you handle him. 4 staff's quite nice for that reason. Yules are okay if he continues to play without a BKB.
I think you still get the Aghanim Scepter and the Shard on Sven. I mean, it's still an incredible tool, right?
It's pretty good.
Radiant's mid tower.
Or is it one of those things maybe you don't get it because you're going to rely on Roshan to give it to you?
Yeah, I don't think you can invest your own gold in it until you're more slotted, but it allows you to continue scaling for sure. They're not bad to have. I think the Aghanims, it's not as broken as it used to be. Sven doesn't get picked as much anymore because you can't just... I don't even know what to call it when he picked up Aghs previously. You would just get its second item and like force jump onto your enemies to crit them in 2 hits, but still solid. The Shard is pretty okay in a game like this because it would force Koifa to be on the ball with his re-empowers. Could consistently purge it off of enemies.
Yeah. Purge up Ink Swell, perhaps.
Lower cooldown, too, is not to be discounted.
Man, Matamba Man must be just loving this game. Like the way he's just been able to so early on as a carry, just run around fearlessly.
Yep.
Only time he's really been caught was when he was totally isolated underneath a tier 2 tower. Oh, they're gonna break the smoke, but it's no, it is. I thought for sure Samael wasn't gonna get there in time, but he does. BKB is gonna go off on Nisha though, and this is where, Kyle, you were talking about.
Yep.
This combo makes him invulnerable to Liquid.
Yep, there's just not a damn thing you can do.
Samael's still gonna try and maybe catch up. Now he gives up.
No, you can't. He's too fast.
Yep.
You've got 100 to 0, or it's just not going to work. So they're going to need to be on point with the ink swell into Dragon Tail. Has to be pre-applied.
It is worth noting that the new BKB means that it's a lot less punishing to be forced to use BKB in those kind of purely defensive scenarios. Uh-oh. He's going to get caught by Matamba Man, perhaps blinks away before anything happens. But Matamba Man, I'm surprised because I knew he had that haste rune, so I thought maybe they'd still go after him.
No. Oh, nice. We're going to see this fight one more time. So Matu got the jump on Insania, the buyback immediately, but it doesn't really matter.
Oh, these are all of Insania's test to Matamba Man.
He keeps dying in the same place.
Production or memers, man. I mean, it is kind of been the same kind of rectangle. Yeah, Insania's probably not a happy boy with that one. Of course, we are paused right now. That's why we're going through the memes. As you can see, Insania is suffering in net worth due to constantly being hunted down, persecuted by...
that was such a sick play. Yeah, look at this. So the blink, immediate shockwave skewer. Like, no time for Matu to react. Immediate Sumail stun. And Zai's just... I don't even think you can react. And you'll notice on his equipment now, he has a blink dagger. I think mostly because of his experience right here, where he realizes, yeah, if Liquid make this play, I need a blink. Because they have too many tools to reposition. Even the second skewer that comes out. That's a very much a... I feel like that he's just missing that little piece of alfalfa to chew on.
Yeah. Taiga again.
Wait, is this a replay? Oh, live. Unfortunate.
I'm struggling to understand the importance of taking this outpost. Believe me, like, I feel like outposts are not taken seriously enough, but like this is just suicide.
Oh no. Liquid?
Oh dear, they're about to get sandwiched hardcore, and the damage already come. Oh, Koifa didn't get hit by that one. Now the spin TP away. That's going to be successful as well. Koifa, I cannot believe he did not get hit by that fire glob.
That was too close for comfort.
I mean, I thought that was very smart. Lead off with the damage to make sure the blink dagger can't go off, but it just barely missed. Puppy.
This is great. Now Satanic on Matu. So the thing about the Sven is you can't kill him, you can kite him, you can control him. You gotta find the supports, but the trouble you have is that Wind Ranger in itself is also a threat, because a shackle from Nisha will force some core, like he'll kill anybody if they don't have some sort of escape mechanism. And I actually think Liquid, you gotta be watching Taiga. His damage output is gonna be pretty insane, and the Purge, if it could still remove Satanic, I'd say he'd be feeling a lot better, but it's really tough to actually deal enough damage to kill the Sven. I think he just has to come last. Like, just kite him. That's really your hope here as Liquid. They're going to try and force a Roche. No real hard initiation from the Sven, so...
This is bold from Liquid, that's for sure, especially since they have Power Shot to be able to reveal. Support from Samael.
Nice punch.
Looking at Puppy. Nice stun. Cursed Crown. They're going to be able to catch Insania at the start of the fight. The Soulbind onto 2, but the Terrorize preventing them from doing much about this. The BKB going off. And actually, the Wind Ranger into some trouble. The Wind Run's barely going to go off with Guardian Angel as well. Nisha playing around with trying to get around Liquid members, but he's going to be anti-slash to finish him off. That means Matamba Man does have a little bit more room to operate. They're going to stall out Liquid, though.
Does not have a buyback.
Now back up. Nukes are coming in. Installed on Matamba Man, but now he's going to activate that God Strength, and now they have to kite Matamba Man, but he is ripping into Samael. The damage was intense against a hero that had so much armor. Koif almost getting caught, but he managed to skewer up the cliff. Let's go back into the Roshan pit, says Matumba Man. And he will finish off. Get the Aegis shard and cheese. Back into play they go, but this is insane. Matumba Man, he will take all challengers right now. The RP just to be thrown down, and they do manage to finish off Poppy, but still, they're really going to go for this one. They have to try and go for the kill onto Zai while kiting out Matumba Man. Koif almost getting 3-shot, 4-shot, rampage for him. Sumail doesn't have damage left anymore. Matumba Man, double rampage for him. Zai, he's just slowing him down at this point. Let Matumba Man do the work. Double rampage for Matumba Man.
Yeah, you should tip the man. And it's maybe we should just keep the single.
Nobody did damage but him.
16,000 almost compared to the rest of his team is what, like barely 3K?
Yeah.
That's the strat for Team Secret. Buff the Sven. He needs no assistance, really. Other than that, Zai, Solar Crest, give him the extra strength, which is also then bonus damage.
Radiant's mid towers get what for?
Give him the attack speed that he needs for...
Oh, it's so good to spend too, because the God Strength, remember, it's only base damage.
Yep.
So if you get the Heavenly Grace and then pop ultimate, well, I guess it just doesn't matter when you have it, but as long as you have the Grace on you, it's plus 32 strength, which becomes plus 200% bonus damage, so let's call it 100 damage. It's not bad.
Not bad at all, and it's going to be at least 2 lanes of barracks.
You just got an AC.
Game Liquid, I honestly don't know how you stop Matumba Man.
You know.
Like, 50% God Strength damage, minus armor from the AC. Like, he was 4-shotting people before. Like,
Pretty sight right
now
I just love
he
this build.
legitimately 2-shot.
He just went all in on damage, and his team just kind of covers him as using the Snapfire to help him from getting kited. Zai just buffing him at all times. So he's not really a target, but he's the only target for Team Liquid. He's killing all of you.
Managed to get the shackle shot. Going for the chain stun. Inkstwell doesn't quite land. They're going to have to retreat back to their fountain. Look at the tear damage, though, doing a decent amount of work. Look how quickly he Satanic in one swing. Oh, Jesus, Sumail. His bonus armor is not allowing him to survive against Matumba Man, man-on-man. Mickey. Yeah. They're trying to put a stop to this guy, but they just can't. They're not even putting a dent in his armor at this point. Chain's gonna go up. Very nice from Puppy. Matumba Man doesn't have the God Strength anymore. The damage is a lot less. The Omni Slimes are going to bounce over to the Wind Ranger here, but onto the Mega Creeps. That limits most of the effectiveness there. Koifa still managed to get the RP. Doesn't have a skewer to toss him into the fountain. So they don't really have a hope of stopping the Sven. So it's pretty much the Toilet Bro show going on here, and that'll be GG. Sure enough, Liquid, true to the prophecy, will drop game 2. We're going to go to the full series now.
Yeah, I mean, it just... Even the Titan Sliver at the end there, so much status resist, plus the Heavenly Grace. That DK stun lasted for less than half a second. You can't control the Sven. He's running too fast. He's hitting too hard. And Secret take the W. There's really not much else to it. That was a first 2 Sven, keep in mind. Liquid either going to have to ban it or have a better answer for game 3.
Similar strategy to game 1, right? Where they were trying to amp up the PA. This time it's a Sven. What made it work this time? What made it look so good?
I think PA maybe just needed too much offensive support. Whereas in this case, you know, Sven doesn't need any real help. He just needs to stay alive, and he needs to be able to hit targets. And they also kind of exploit maybe a flaw in Liquid.
Game 3 and the deciding game here between Team Liquid and Team Secret. And when was the last time that I informed you all of how important this series is? Team Liquid, they want to have a shot at making it on the top of the group, therefore getting directly to the playoffs of the major. On the other side, Team Secret can't believe I'm saying this, but they want to avoid relegation to the lower division. So that's what's at stake here. And I mean, this is a very...
of the series, if anything. You're going to have Liquid, who's now first pick for the first time in the series. It just because I feel like in mid lane, if you draft the best lineup around it, it is really known to deal with, especially into the mid game. But we'll see what direction they go, and they just go the Magnus themselves.
I feel like I used to see this from a certain secret at one point.
Yeah, that's true.
Was the first one?
I think it was the first iteration, right? When they were picking it every single time.
Yeah, it was the S4 one.
Yeah, they used to love this. But
this is a pretty potent offlane as well. You're going to have a lot of chip annoyance in the lane with the shockwave build from Magnus, and then you have obviously Windrunner playing that if it's 4. You can flex it to the mid if needed. So the key component from Secret now is how do they get through second phase, picking their 5 and their carry without it being like I guess too counterable potentially.
And they're gonna go Legion, huh? I thought I heard that one. I didn't have my earbud in, but I thought I heard a Legion.
Yep, and so this hero, you actually talked about it this morning, T, because even though we basically don't really see it, it is super popular in China.
Yeah, so of course you have the idea of like the purge, it helps, and in China it's mainly because of Shaman, Lion, and that concept. But I think in this scenario, this is, again, it feels like Sumail's contribution is dictating the draft a little bit here. In game 2, he's picking DK for the Windrunner, and in this scenario, he's asking or potentially talking about the Legion for the Windrunner, because the Windrunner is always elusive, gets in and out, fight physical damage. What type of lineup thrives on that? Legion Commander. He loves locking down these heroes that like to buy BKB, that like to try and poke and get in and out, and then you blow them up inside that duel. So, yeah, pretty much that.
What's our win rate for Legion though in the Europe region? I think it's very, very low.
Yeah, correct.
I think basically people are not playing it, not doing it the same type of thing.
It's 2 games, and I believe it's 50%.
Oh, it's actually played twice. Okay,
Yeah,
I thought it played a little more, but
this is only upper division that I'm referring to. Yeah, so it's 2 games and 50% win rate.
Okay, well, doesn't give much.
So Secret actually won with it already, and then Hellbear smashes, well, the losers with it. So potentially you might argue it's undefeated.
I mean, it seems like it's going to be about these. I feel like it's going to be a lot about these super carries this series. We did see that now both times. We saw one super carry on one side, super carry on the other side too. All the buff ups, saves. Great setup too. And I mean, lots of Roche enabling. That's what I've been seeing too. Is like Snapfire is always just going to be able to get these Roche. I think T was saying it too. I'm getting a little sick of seeing Shredder Solar Crest on it. Legion
every time
buff it up even more. And it's a good gank combo.
Yes.
Always going to be a pretty strong one.
But I feel for Secret right now. Now that you have this Legion, I'd love to see Winner just put in the 4 role, play off the fact that you have Shackle. I guess Legion as well thrives there because you have this hard dispel, so you're propping up that 1 core to play well.
But then at least your Wind Ranger won't just, die in some situations. Just if you do get caught out of position from a duel. And they're going to ban out, buff ups. Magnus is there, so they'll take out the PA, take out the Troll. Legion overall is a lane bully as well too in a lot of situations too. So if you do ban out a lot of those just lane winners that are up against it, you can actually dominate the lane pretty hard. And I've been just seeing, man, like Taiga with the Snapfire, he's very good at just dominating lanes. So.
Well, especially when you have Legion snap in the same lane, right?
Yes.
If you go for the overwhelming build plus and the cookie, it's like there's a lot of explosive damage. Or you can just go Legion for a more of an independent build, playing off of your lifesteal, and then putting the Snapfire in a more active role, playing into mid as well. Like there is variation, but Legion as well is a hero that very quickly can be bullied. And
true. Like
for Anti-Mage, for example, for Secret comes to mind because you might go Anti-Mage, Legion counters Anti-Mage, but the laning phase, it gives Anti-Mage free farm. And maybe in the game, of course, Legion can have the 1-up, but in the general entry of what Anti-Mage asks for, he completely can destroy this hero.
I wonder if we're going to see a Razor in this series too. I was thinking that we could see one.
Yeah, a little casual Razor wouldn't be opposed.
Razors are nice, especially because there's all like it's all about these like super carries. I'm just waiting to see like, okay, link them up.
Yeah, a Razor, a little bit of the anti-super carry.
Yeah.
Well, we got a couple of spirits banned out. There's, of course, Earth Spirit and Void Spirit still left in the pool.
So that would, those bans would indicate that it's a Wind Ranger core in a way too, but maybe they're trying to kind of bait them a little bit.
Which I hope
that info. That's kind of cool.
Thank you for me. I was hoping that, you know, some teams, when they get to this point, especially game 3, the bans can really be quite telling. Because when you pick a flex hero and you kind of ban, like teasing your opponent, like, hey guys, we're banning as if it's a core, but then suddenly it's now a support, like you can waste. And this is where Liquid, they just need to see through this. At no point should they change out their bans. They just need to ban one more core for the Magnus and Power.
Winter Wyvern coming out.
Ooh.
Great with the super carries as well, making sure that the super carry on the enemy team kills the people around.
Will we go as far as saying it's also a block pick?
I was about to say
there we go.
Steel pick, because I was thinking about it the first series. It was the AA that did put it off. That's why I went for Oracle instead. But this is a hero that I do think is a little on the rise. Not phenomenal. Also can be dealt with by Legion too. The Dispel versus the Arctic Burn.
Okay. Are they just going to go for the casual IO gyro then? Secret now. You have
I think so.
The confidence here is they pick IO into Wyvern. Of course, you have Wyvern is one of the counters. You always blow up the eye with the pair he's playing with. Magnus as well. AoE control against IO is not great. So the question for Liquid is, depending on this pick, this IO could be a carry with a really strong 5 enabler, so now you remove that threat, or B, it's a gyrocopter because Secret has maybe some weaker lanes and he can just run over the game, you offset and just ignore the type of Wyvern counter.
Exactly. I actually think, yeah, gyro fits really nice. The magic amp too with just gyrocopter overall magic damage. Then your Cold Embrace is one of those that you don't really want to cast in a lot of situations because you actually get like 2 full sets of barrage off almost during that.
They could also still just go Leshrac. You know, they don't have the Oracle, but with the IO.
IO Lesh?
Yeah, IO Lesh. Still pretty potent.
Why not both? Gyro and Lesh if it's both open.
So much damage. So what did they actually go for?
Why not? We got a Wraith King for Matu this time around.
They did need some component of frontline. They got a lot of heroes who want to reinitiate and play on the fringe of the fight. So at least this simplifies that engagement. You can play into Legion pretty well. And in the game, not scared.
And we're protecting. We're saving. Where is the Wind Ranger going?
As expected.
It's still flex. That Wraith King pick does make it still open if it is going to be mid or if it's going to be moved and relegated as a 4 position. See what the approach is from Liquid if they do just pick up that gyro.
I guess the main concern for Secret right now is they don't really have any laning pressure or any rotation pressure in the game. It's all about pushing out lanes, farming up, and then playing around the counter offense. You know, when you're playing in your tier 2s, tier 1s, having the numbers ready to make that play. They aren't going to be looking to smoke up and make any plays. That's where Liquid, that's where they can maybe utilize pressure in this lineup, because when you're in a lineup that's reactive and you're like overwhelmed, it's so hard to recover in these types of games. You know, they're taking their time for this pick. This is, it feels like the discussion of, is it carry or 5 IO? Are we enabling the IO or are we getting the IO to enable someone else?
And do we want to prioritize Lesh or do we want to prioritize gyro? If
exactly,
they do want to go for this too, so they could still go both routes.
That's a hurdle like a
So yeah, this is the IO carry with the 5 to enable. There it is.
Oh,
is that good nowadays? I thought it was nerfed quite heavily.
It definitely was.
Okay, so the main idea, I know the damage, so basically the nerfs are basically just damage being reduced.
Yeah.
But the main concept of the hero is still there, right? It's the overwhelming pressure. You get the Ags, you have Helmet Dominator potential, you just overwhelm your opponent with just non-stop balls in the face pressure, and it's painful. It is painful to still play into. You're just not really killing heroes. You're just, you know, slowly poking them away from their own jungle.
Your mixed damage as well too, right? So you will be able to go through Cold Embrace. You'll be able to do this physical as well if your team does need it. You've got double save behind you. Very rare you see a Baden and Legion Commander in the same team.
That's true. That is true.
Dude, this is good. This is sustain on sustain on sustain. And Secret, they're the ones banning out the A in the first 2. And Liquid's like, thank you very much. We're going to pick, you know, triple healers and maybe even the Snapfire can situation to be a healer.
Dire's ban.
Is it still flexible? No, I think that's probably that's just the end. Take out the Necro. We've seen Secret run it a couple times. We've seen a couple teams run it a few times. Not really super fond of the hero, but they do have 4 strength heroes right now.
I'm looking forward to. So Secret has technically got, you know, 3 stuns. You know, Breaking, Shackle.
Sorry, the Timber Band just makes me laugh because they have 4 strength heroes.
Yeah, that's true. That's
these bans went super
They are going to flex it.
There it is.
Oh, so who's going to be mid now?
Yeah. No, but okay, so in this scenario, I feel like you put the gyro mid lane, you put the IO Baden in the safe lane, IO core, Abaddon 5, Legion, Snapfire as your offlane duo, and then you have, just good, strong lanes everywhere.
But it looked like Secret was prepared for this, considering they banned out the cores, they banned out the Lesh and the Bristol, rather than the Lesh and the gyro, so they knew.
So what is Secret's answer here? Like, they need... Okay, realistically, so right now I think itemization is pretty key. You don't have the hard counters. So like a Morphling would play really well into Gyrocopter. You can't do that. You can't go AA. Of course, you wouldn't work in the draft. They need someone who ideally buys like a Skadi or can at least have some type of like mitigation of heal potentially could come into play. Or just wave clear. Just double down on prolonging the game.
So you think they're still going to keep the IO bad in bottom? They're going to put the gyro mid and they're going to do Legion Snap? That sounds a little weird to me.
I think that's what works to clean this up.
I'm not really like the mid gyros like almost at all. There is the Razor. I was hoping we'd get to see. I actually love the Razor pick. I think it's such a good. It's got great synergy with Curse too. So you're not doing damage, but you're stealing all the damage away.
Yep, as expected.
And
there it is.
Going to be the mid. Okay.
Oh, no flex here. We've seen through it, Liquid. All right, so we've seen Gyrocopter's mid be either amazing or do literally nothing, and that's where I think Razor is going to be pretty okay in this matchup.
Annoying.
He's going to be annoying, and of course, mid Gyrocopters they play more on a flak than like a barrage and a rocket. There's less lane to run your opponent down, so it's more about utilizing your farm. And of course, Razor can happily do that as well and be efficient in the jungle. So yeah, mid's going to be a potential kind of farm war where Razor might actually have the advantage because Gyrocopter is more of a right clicker in this type of lane. So that's where Razor's pretty good. And yeah, they have really nice frontline eventually with the Wraith King, but again, it's just getting there.
What's the rotation potential for the supports then for the mid lane?
In regards to Secret, it's near nothing.
I don't think we're going to see a lot of rotations.
No, just a lot of
Liquid
stacking,
neither?
a lot of farm. Liquid does have a little bit of an advantage just because of Snapfire. But again, realistically, both teams will be looking at who can make the most stacks, who can farm them quicker, who can get to a timing first, who start running over their opponent.
Anybody in particular that you like more here? Because it seems pretty even here.
I think I like Secret a tiny bit more. Same thing, like very, very small this summer. I like Liquid's a little bit more last game, but I think this Razor is the changer for me. I think Razor is one that I really wanted to see it in these type of games when I'm just seeing these like super, and I think it actually does have its thing. And IO Gyro, they're both cores, so it does make it's not going to be them like tethered up and maybe
when they're 25 fogged.
I mean, that's
play for late game.
Play for late game.
Oh yeah, we'll see.
Seems like we're gonna have a little bit of a stable laning phase and then some maybe explosive mid-game fights. I hope so at least, and I know our commentary team is hoping that as well. It is Cat and Kyle for game 3.
Yeah, certainly. We saw such a fun game 1 and then game 2 very lopsided. A Liquid game 2, I guess. It's really very rapidly becoming a mantra for them.
I don't even know what to say about it. Maybe just pull out a pocket strat or something next time, because the standard stuff is certainly not working out. And this draft is bordering. It's definitely weird, not quite criminally insane, but it's close because we have a Sumail mid gyro, a first 2 LC, and they picked Wisp into Wyvern.
30 seconds to go.
Well, everyone's gonna spam out some lines. Okay, so I want to tackle the first one. First 2 LC. It's been very successful in China for Aster in particular, who is looks to be the top dog of this season. True. Why do you not like first 1-2 Legion Commander?
It's good as a counter to the mag.
The game is on.
I like it a lot more now that I see Koifa is rushing Soul Ring, which is, I believe, the way to play the hero. I think he'll probably be maxing his W as well. So the name of the game is going to just be Heal Meke. I'm just not sure the hero Wisp does enough damage post-nerf, even with the Ags and the whole itemization that we've seen.
No, well, he does have Gyrocopter that kind of fills that damage hole, right? It's like, Gyrocopter's just pure damage.
Sure, but he's really not a great matchup against Wraith King nor Razor.
Yeah.
So it's just not a great game for Sumail's hero.
I will take you up on that argument of, because you don't, like, he's not a good hero against Wraith King because Gyrocopter is very much like a pretty burst-heavy hero.
True.
Right? And like Wraith King survivable. But with IO Gyrocopter, you are actually really good at extended, long, drawn-out fights, right? With Aghanim Scepter and all the heals that you get from lifesteal.
No, that's a good point. Like, Secret's lineup, they've got the Wyvern ulti, the RP, the Link, the Shackle, etc. It's going to be all about finding burst kills, whereas Liquid's lineup is built all around survival. Wisp Gyro, they never run out of damage. They just have to stay alive, and the whole lineup is sort of built around that concept. And
that's a really good line when you're being chased by the Gyro Rocket.
we're gonna. Can you use, so if you were to buy like all the team's pennants, can you use as many voice lines as you want, or is it one team at a time?
No, it still has the normal chat wheel rules where you're only going to be able to spam 2 at a time before there's a cooldown.
No. But how many do you have access to? Have you bought?
Oh, you have
every
access
team?
to all of them. Yeah, you just put them into your chat wheel. Taiga is very fire. He's good. He's good. He's good. But yeah, I particularly like the comment. Somebody said OG's next play is going to be using team chat lines against teams. You know, you're playing against Liquid, you just take all of their lines, start spamming it against them.
Yeah, I don't know how many of the community members could afford to do that, but I know OG can definitely make sure to buy every single team's max package.
And there's probably a reason why we didn't see any chat wheel lines in the lower division game.
No. It's psychological warfare is a rich man's game. And let's see here. So laning phase probably going to be relatively even across the board. It's pretty tough to find kills with Wispa Baden.
Yeah.
Same goes for Wyvern Wraith King, although they did almost find Taiga. Mid lane is the one I'm zoned in on, and this is the thing. You last picked Gyro, you sent to mid. Check out the net worth. This CS is just not good.
Oh, this is risky from Sumail. He's going to turn around actually with the creep wave. He had Rocket Barrage going, thought he could maybe catch Nisha there, but just outmaneuvered him with the 1 level of the passive like that. That's kind of nice. What you doing back here, Insania?
And like, I don't want to take anything away from Nisha here, but you know, Sumail's one of the better mid players in the world. And if this matchup is so poor, he's 5-3 against 8-12. You gotta question whether that was the right last pick for your win condition.
Yeah.
My responsibility.
It's just very troubling whenever you see a hero, because mid lane, we've heard multiple players speak about it. No one, most notably over in Eastern Europe, discussing how you really can't lose mid anymore because there's the rune at 2 minutes, 3 minutes, and 4 minutes. But Gyrocopter can't really just translate mana into wave pushes as easy as other heroes.
Yeah.
Flak, Q, sure, but you just need more levels before you're able to do that sufficiently.
Yeah, I mean, maybe it would have been okay if he had like 2 or 3 more CS and could have had a bottle in time to be able to pick up that water rune that he just picked up, and like he would be kind of okay. But he was so ruined from the first 2 or 3 creep waves that as a result, his bottle is so incredibly delayed. Sumail's going to have to make the long walk back to base. Oof. Insania. Oh, they dove the tower again? How do they keep finding themselves back here? I can only assume it's some good skewers from Zai.
I figured. Man, no matter what, our TZ always finds a way to make it back into EU. And I wanted to check out top. Koifa went for the build that I like to see. Typically we see 0-2-1, but I actually like this in this spot because you're just hitting the Wraith King in the face. We'll probably see him put an extra point in W. This is how to play Legion Commander. As soon as you have level 2 W, it's free. Soul Ring, W, attack the enemy. And Wraith King, typically one of the harder heroes to trade hits with, cannot do so against Koifa's LC. It won't be possible, even getting the Orb of Venom for better trading. And then Taiga, Blightstone, and the Minus Armor, they're actually going to be able to apply some pretty heavy pressure up top to this Wraith King with levels.
You know, when you caster somebody long enough, you get used to like some of their points, and that is the first one I've certainly gotten used to. You, Kai, I know you love whatever the Legion Commander gets picked up. If anybody does anything other than Soul Ring and maxing out W, Kyle's gonna have a problem.
I will have a problem. I watch good players, okay, play Legion Commander. Ice, 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 every single game. This is how he plays it, okay? It is universally the way to play the lane. If you're not doing it, you're doing it wrong. I can stand maybe scenarios. One is the allow, but when you do it, another stop. See it. To see Liquid, but mid is still much a disaster. Taiga's come over to maybe try and help. You do getting kills with rocket into Q combo on Denisha, but he's a little too wise to that, and he already rotated out.
I'd be a bit afraid of Nisha turning around on them with the 3 levels that he's got on the static link, and now his ultimate up. They're gonna start going for it, but yeah, he's already drained enough damage. They gotta get out of here. Where's the cookie to bail out Sumail? Nisha doesn't want to dive just yet. Perhaps aware that time maybe working reads. Sumail.
second trip base.
There's nothing you can do this lane. I really love the way Nisha built here. That 1 point aura is now. Oh, he's dead. Oh, he's not dead.
Could use a hand.
Nisha can try and catch up to him. Yapsor certainly will. One run, 1 hit, 2 hits. That'll be enough.
The link damage faded, but oh, hang on. This could be. He has no.
The rocket's coming in. He's no damage. Second round of rocket barrage. Is that going to be enough magic damage? Oh, he got out of way.
Radiant's
he got out of vision for a second. Koifa's going to come in. In one swing and he gets him. Oh man.
Oh my god.
Nice deny on the bounty ring. Well played.
Koifa had 0 points in Q, right? So if he doesn't get that kill and they somehow turn around, I would have had to quit. That would have been too much of a caster's curse. But they do get the smack. Very, very fortunate, because if you don't get something out of that, it would be quite grim. And poor Sumail, he just doesn't really have an answer to being ran at. Oh, whoa! Yep, so he canceled his auto attack. Should have denied the rune, but misclicked or something.
Unfortunate.
Maybe he didn't see him and thought that there was. Not sure.
I'm hoping that William will forgive me for this. So Blitz told me that apparently Sumail said that if I lose a lane, I will play 20 pubs per day till the next official.
Oh. Well, I am sorry to say, Sumail, if you end up watching this VOD, you didn't just lose this lane, you got thoroughly thrashed. And I know you might claim matchup, but, you know, can a king, are you a king if you make excuses? I thought you were responsible. You're lord of your land. Whatever goes down on your turf, that's you.
Yeah. 2-1 Secret holding a slight net worth lead here in a critical game 3 for both of these. Liquid on the upside for them. They get this victory. They still have a chance to be able to tie with Alliance and potentially take away first place from them and go automatically into the playoffs. On the other side, Team Secret is kind of in danger of being relegated, as weird as that sounds to say. They have not been doing so hot in the second season's DPC after they were completely dominant in Season 1. Rotation coming in, big smoke bag, but Nisha, they're going to catch him just inside of the AoE, but a shackle shot delays out the duel. They'll finally get it off, and it is still a win for Koifa.
That was huge. There's the Snapfire. Like, we see now why this hero is being first picked by both of these teams. Great body blocking by Tiger.
Yeah, that was sick. Now Sumail's full health with a full bottle.
It's a combo. It's the laning prowess, the kill threat that Cookie is providing, but the minus armor represents so much damage amplification. 5 minus from the little shredder. The Blightstone makes it 7. That's a Deso. He's walking around with a Deso. It's 8 minutes into the game.
Yeah, no, that minus armor has been super fearsome. Then we've seen how good the Cookie is to be able to assist. The Sven from last game, nice gank here from Nisha, but oh my goodness! Wow. And he did.
Wow, such sustain, much wow. Gyrocopter now might be able to get a rocket onto Nisha.
Oh no!
Oh no! It's
Insania turned the wrong direction. Maybe it's for the best. The TP was already coming in from the Winter Wyvern. Meanwhile, we haven't checked in on Mickey for a while. He's not quite keeping up with the Wraith King, but he's doing all right for himself.
You got the best creep for farming.
Yeah.
Yeah, he can pop the Soul Ring, give mana to the creep, and spam lightning.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, I didn't think about the mana regen aspect, giving the creep. That's cool.
Yeah, because it was nerfed in the past. You can't get like
still like 8 times or something.
Because it's a 4-second cooldown. I mean, it's amount of damage. Zeus can't name.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Wow. And as a result, he is actually kind of keeping up with a Wraith King who I would expect you to naturally out-farm an IO, just because you got skeletons. You have like ways to be able to... Oh, Nisha, this is troublesome. Sumail's going to catch up to him. Rocket barrage until he's knocked out of the air. Yapsor hits them with a powerful shot there. Insania is going to be run down as well. After being skewered back to the Tier 1 town. Doesn't work anymore. 3-4.
I was just testing you.
Yeah, it's a good test. Good test. It was a nice pop quiz. Middle of the team fight. Pop quiz.
Hey, it's when you least expect it. Mickey, yeah, he's just smart. This game is going to be more slow paced, folks. You got a Wraith King on one end, Liquid, their timing, maybe slow pace isn't the right term. In theory, that item right there just queued it up on Mickey. Aghanims will change things. Took you away.
They're going to wait this time to use the stun, but the Mortimer's Kisses are raining in. Insania does have the helping hand of the Aphotic Shield. If anything, they could have maybe gone for the duel. Take away the first life, skewered back in. Insania still not level 6. Put into a nasty situation. Matama Man, they're still trying to take away that first life. They've got Sumail. Oh, nice RP. That's only on to 2, though, and they're going to back away. They didn't catch Mickey. The Relocate's going to run out fairly soon here, but the Cookie does stun up Yapzor. They're still chasing, but Nisha, he's now leading Sumail like a dog. That's not good. All of his damage being taken away. And Skewer to be able to stop the TP away from Taiga. Catches Sumail as well. Double kill for Nisha.
I was so sure Mickey was going to take somebody away. Or Mickey was going to, bring Sumail out of there. And then you see them kind of in no man's land, like, wait a second. This is not where I want to be. We don't have numbers here. Secret doing a great job. Rule number 1, playing against a Wisp, always be ready to take a team fight as 5. They brought the entire squad, and they were ready for that. And oh my God, is that a stack?
I like that. Using the shockwave to cut down the trees, because getting these stacks pulling that direction on that big of an ancient stack is kind of hard.
Perfect timing, yep. And they know, okay, no, relocate. We got a bit of a window here, so time for Matu to take this stack.
Bit of a DD as well.
This is something you never see. Wraith King with a, was that a quad ancient stack?
Oh, yeah.
12 minutes in, you typically can't farm these ancients at all, but with the benefit of Empower. And an armlet, all right.
Don't stack ancients for a Wraith King, guys.
No.
He'll hate you. It literally becomes a camp he can't farm because of you.
Yep. Built-in Battle Fury, though, paying dividends.
Fortify their structures.
And now we'll see. Secret off to a pretty good start, but it's all about the gyrocopters game. And Sumail, the trouble with this hero, especially for the mid lane, you were hesitant about the pick for the same reason, I think. What do you do to catch up? You're all about fighting. You have to be strong. You have to be able to run at enemies. This hero was popularized by Havost, for run in, divide. And if you're unable to do that, the hero just straight up feels underwhelming.
Ooh, Taiga. He was to try and outplay Yapzor there. Throw out the Mortimer's Kisses. I mean, that would strictly be a game of juking and judgment at that point in time.
Oh, but this is wild. So Koifa, he rushed a Blink Dagger. You don't see this very often.
Okay.
Typically, there's a Blade Mail. I'm a big fan of Armlet. That's what I saw Ice buying as well. But the Blink Rush is interesting in this sort of game because he's their only initiation. Right now, they're behind. How do they get back into this? Maybe some reload setups. A Blink Duel on almost any core. If, let's say, you had a Snap or a Gyro there, Wisp comes in, that's going to be a kill. Almost certainly. So
right,
it forces Secret to be a little less greedy because otherwise, right here, Koifa's going to go for it.
And they've got some real damage to pump into it as well, whether it's a relocate, which we're going to see here. Not quite good enough, though. The relocate comes a little bit too delayed. Koifa goes for the TP out. Puppy, he's, he doesn't have the mana for Winter's Curse, so Mickey and Insania will both make it out as well. They managed to force a heavy rotation from Secret, and look at them. They're immediately trying to poke it mid as a result of this.
That's the way you got to play it. Both teams really playing the strategy. It took a little while. Game 1, very sloppy. Game 2, bit of a disaster for Liquid. Game 3, both these squads are certainly on point. Liquid have to make plays. The relocate nerf, of course, makes it take a lot longer.
Yeah, seriously.
I kind of take back what I said about the pickup potential. You need to pre-relocate, it feels, for that to be successful. And Secret, they have the tools to respond. If the mag is off map, if the Wyvern is off map, the relocate might do you more harm than good.
Go for again, but this time around, the minus armor from Taiga. It feels like Snapfire, very important for this.
Yes.
Mortimer's Kiss is an overwhelming amount of magic damage, and then the minus armor from Little Shredder will help Koifa out a lot too. So
I think this is more what you're going to look to see. Mickey farming with himself and a creep. Abaddon trying to keep Sumail safe, but Taiga and Koifa, they have to hold hands because I think you've got it. The Snapfire is really the only true dual damage.
Yeah.
He needs to be playing with Koifa. Secret, let's see, Matu, he went for the Deso build. I like this a lot. He's going to go Armlet into Deso, which is not like the pure farming build, but Radiance against all the sustain is pretty worthless. You need that hard burst damage, the ability to trade to go 1-to-1, basically making himself into the Sven from last game, where nobody on Liquid would be able to then go toe-to-toe with him. Duel becomes very dangerous for Koifa to cast. And it should enable him to be the hero dealing most physical damage on map for, in theory, this entire game.
Got to go a little Cool J on him, right? Mama said, knock you out. Just got to go for that big old one-hit punch. We haven't been talking about Secret's strategy a ton here, more so on Liquid's, because theirs is very straightforward, right?
Oh, yeah.
It's Wraith King, like you're talking about, build up his damage. They've got mags, so he can empower farm. Like, it feels like a very relaxed and easy to execute game for them.
Yep, hold one of the big spells to combo break Liquid's jump. Get a link on the gyro. Probably going to win the fight. Wraith King does all the damage you need. Maybe not as high numbers as we saw in the Sven, but certainly enough. And yeah, it's go time. They have the Desto, so they want to fight.
Blinks away. Tubman Man holding on to the stun as they now begin their assaults on the tier 1 tower. Cold Embrace helping the creep wave tank for them.
So much damage.
Liquid need to find a way to respond to this. It's not like I don't think they're going to come up with the answer fast enough. Kyle, would you say that, do you still favor lineups, even at this level of play, that are easier to execute? Because that is a bit of a difference, right? We've been talking about how does Liquid make this lineup work, basically. Oh, nice pick on Yapzor.
That's one way to get started. They gotta be cautious, though. He's got a buyback, and they are being wrapped around on.
Yeah, Secret. They're not gonna give up this mid tower without a fight, I feel. Leading off, stun onto Mickey. He's got that Aghanim Scepter that you were talking about. A big power spike for Liquid here.
They don't have Zai because he's 10 gold now away from the Blink Dagger. If they can pick that up, they'll probably look to fight mid.
Oh yeah, this will be a huge surprise. Big opportunity here. But Liquid actually back down.
To answer your question, I think easier to execute is almost always going to be more comfortable. The caveat is, do they need to win a near equal number of team fights to take the win? Because easy to execute is nice, but if you lose one fight and thus the game, it doesn't really seem that easy. In this case,
RP straight up, Zai skewers him back in. Shackle shot, that is so much damage. Look at Fuel Scepter to be able to survive that. He gets off his ultimate. The Winter's Curse laid out. The Aphotic Shield tanking as much as they can, but it looks like the damage is going to overwhelm him. Now Insania doesn't have his ultimate. The Cookie to try and bail out Koifa. Samael, now he's being dragged and shackled to the other core of Koifa. It's a disaster for Liquid as they are going to lose 4 outside of their tier 2s. And look at Taiga. He's hoping that he can find a rebuttal here, but he will not.
Too much damage. They were not ready. Looked like, man, if Mickey just has anybody behind him as this begins, maybe he survives. The RP, multiple cleanses, nobody there to remove it. Here comes Sumail. He's actually the first one in the vicinity. Great heals from Nisha. He forces the ulti from Insania just to be able to try and get heals off, but you have the Wyvern as well. This is the danger. Liquid's whole lineup is gonna try and fight in this concentrated ball. That was the easiest 3-man curse you'll ever see. Another shackle from Yapzor, and that's 4 kills for nothing.
Yeah. Sick Winter's Curse, a great pickup against this lineup. And Liquid now really feels like they're against the ropes. 5,000 net worth lead for Team Secret. Oh no! Tried to blink in and catch Zai, but Shockwave catches him mid-blink, and he is not able to grab Zai as a result.
This is one of the dangers with LC. Big fan of the hero. I liked Koifa's build, but Brown Boots, Blink Blade Mail, you are running around, you're a duel, and that's about it. And hey, a Dispel, not bad, but we'll
be able to give that to Mickey. He's looking for the jump away, but again, the Winter's Curse is there to make sure, even as Mickey is barely looking for the escape, he is still overwhelmed by the big team fight. Secret looked to be able to chase for more, but Liquid are able to cover the rest of their heroes. But yeah, as we could see, that ward very important in Team Secret's in the confidence that they went for Mickey. They knew there was not a whole lot of heroes behind them.
It's a 5k gold lead, but you know, I will say, Liquid's course, more fortitude than I expected. Sumail is somehow on top of his team's net worth charts, which might actually be more of a problem for Liquid than you think about it, because how terrible this lane went. And this is likely a free Roshan considering the DD on Matu.
Yeah, that double damage cuts down this time by a lot. And as a result, Liquid just now respawning on the IO. He's going to TP to tier 2, but it's a bit too late. Mortimer's Kisses start going out. Koifa's already down to half health. And the Mortimer's Kisses are being shrugged off because they just don't have the levels on Liquid here. Oh, attempted to go for a skewer. Oh, Insania, that was 1,185 damage. He almost got one shot 21 minutes into the game.
Oh my, this is spooky. It's really reminiscent of that second game. Matu is just so damn strong. If you get, oh no, the kid's caught.
Scepter coming into play again. Fortunately, he's got another tether out.
That's the way that you would hope a fight would start for Liquid. Oh, not like this.
Starts chucking away. Sumail, another big crit like that, and that would be the end of him. But Matumba Man did not have any follow-up disables. He was way out in front of his teammates.
It's a reverse of that first game. Liquid now, they want long fights.
Oh, nice catch with the turnaround here. The focus fire, relocate in. May not be able to win the duel damage. Oh, they do. Barely.
Right now.
Decent pick off and punishing Absol for going for a greedy pick like that.
They're looking to come back in. The relocate back and a TP in as well. Coming in from Koifa. Chasing after. Matumba Man already being low. Hoping to be able to take away that first reincarnation, that first life. Koifa very low, as you said, with just the blink blade mail. He's so squishy.
Yeah, they need longer fights. They want to just kite and bait Secret. They have two huge cooldowns, the RP and the Curse. You maybe consider Reincarnate as well. And in fact, consider Link a team fight winning spell. They need to kite them. They need to ensure that all damage is available on their Gyro, on their Wisp, and then accept damage and just heal through it, dispel through it. 20 to 30 second engagements probably would go Liquid's way, but the trouble is they catch an RP and a skewer away before anyone can react. That hero's probably just going to die to Matu.
Yeah.
He's 3,000 gold ahead of the game. He'll have AC, it looks like, complete soon. No, that's got to just be the Hyperstone he has queued up for now. Don't see anything on his courier.
Bottom towers.
Now they're, I guess they already had the outpost from taking that mid tower, but they will further control this part of the map now that both the tier 2s are gone. And Liquid are just forced to take refuge inside of the dire jungle.
But just remember, the way that the Wisp lineup wins is much like we saw at TI. It's been nerfed since then, but the HP regen amplification from the San, that's going to be very helpful. You have the range on the spirits at level 20, the plus 60 spirits hero damage. That is insane. It's an extra 3 levels represented in terms of damage output. And that's the win condition. Suddenly Secret, they can pummel all this damage in. Wisp peels through it, continues popping spirits.
Didn't get the blink off in time because Matumba Man blinked on top of him and went for a hit with his sword rather than the attempted stun.
Ouch.
But yeah, we've talked in the past about experience-dependent lineups, and it almost feels like this is a downside of Liquid's because they didn't get the ball rolling early at all. Their Mortimer's Kisses has been level 1 for the longest time. I think Taiga just now getting his level 12. As you said, like this IO, very dependent on getting his levels to 15 and 20, but now he's only 16 and may just be dying again here. But fortunately, the Cookie bought him a lot of time. Insania gets him out there. Skewer back, he's going to be able to get the 2-man RP, and the Gyrocopter being ripped apart, being saved bit by bit by Insania, but a beautiful shackle shot trying to give him the tether option, but Mickey doesn't have it up for another 8 seconds. Now Insania, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, that damage. BKB for Nisha as well. This is looking like Secret may call an early GG out of Liquid. As yeah, Winner's Curse, a solo one, so it's not going to last nearly as long, but it is enough for Zai to be able to get the skewer back in. Shackle shot beautifully set up. Secret are just kicking out on all cylinders right now.
They start spamming their own voice line, an apt opportunity because that is kind of the feel right now. In fact, Insania is probably saying that exact line through voice comms to his team. And I understand now, Secret, they're using EG's voice lines and sprays, perhaps stealing some of the strategies too. Yapsor's Wind Ranger reminded me a little bit of crits. Some 6 shackles. I believe that was the 3rd or 4th time we've seen both cores caught together. And unfortunately for Liquid, they just don't have the sustain. a perfect reincarnate timing. The skewer back after the RP, and then you notice as soon as Matsu came up, he was empowered. So that's just a definition of an alley-oop.
I like to think about it more as the natural cycle of life, you know, our TZ cycle from EG to Secret. Here, he's back in Secret in some form, at least. Oh, ready to go for a duel once again. Bit off the mark.
Really?
And they gotta, I feel like they almost got to get out of here. Double damage picked up for the mag.
Really good shard he picked up, Koifa. Makes him very much a support Legion commander, but that BKB, oh no, Insania.
Insania just playing the front line, seeing if they can get a little information. Then Mortimer's Kisses starts throwing down, but they don't have any stuns off of that, so he's just hoping for damage at that point. And Yapso easily finds where he's planted at the river, gets the kill on him. Winner's Curse to be able to stop Koifa's delay, but Sumail, he's the one who's in real trouble right now.
I'm not even sure, have they put Reincarnation on cooldown yet? Finally they do. Matabaman loses the Reincarnation for like maybe the first time this game. It's just been crazy.
They can't fight. Liquid, the whole draft is based on being able to accept damage, and they're too far behind. So, you know, their lineup, their one stun is a blink and a duel. You can't really do that at this point because Secret, they're just too damn far ahead.
Alright guys, I know we're probably
and I don't want to say they've accepted it, but based on the spam, they may know the way that this game is going. Secret, fighting for survival, likely going to be qualified TI on points no matter what they do so far this season, but I can imagine they'd rather not have the shame of falling to Division 2 before they come over here rather to Stockholm to play TI.
Certainly. And after all, like, you could use as much practice as you can get before TI itself, right? Nothing. The DPC, you know, it's one thing. It's a very different beast. At least majors get a little bit closer to the pressure, the timeline of playing so many games in fast period. Koifa with the shard pickup. It's another interesting idea that could have been able to help out this IO lineup and make it look really good. But Tubaban is just a beast right now. The Sven, the Wraith King, it doesn't matter. He's just charging in. They're going to be able to take away the Reincarnation without losing a hero just yet. But now Nisha's in with the BKB, Static Link, and the Winner's Curse on top. Koifa's going to be chased after by Matubaban while Nisha deals with Sumail, challenging the opposing mid laner to a duel that is just all but unfair.
Did he just crit him so hard?
Yes.
I haven't seen. Oh yeah, yeah. It's time to call it. Boom. That is nuts. I have not seen that in months. Absurd amount of damage. Well played by Team Secret. They may be down, but they're certainly not out. Dominant performance. Second loss for Liquid so far this DPC. That means Alliance will now control their destiny. If they can take down Hellbear Smashers, they're